and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 435 for the week of January 7th, 2020. We are recording this podcast from Mars on our flying hover cars, eating nothing but goo paste while we're wearing our silver moon jumpsuits because that's the year 2020.
Did you watch
clearly not
Recall?
Clearly not a hellish cesspool of continuing world wars happening on our doorsteps. We've clearly evolved past the state of that needing to happen. So, my name is Ryan Higgins, who's here with me this week for the start of another decade as shit.
Sager.
Hello.
Kevin.
And Toby.
Okay. Well,
and let's just note here. Let's just note here.
Okay, for first-time listeners, okay, that is...
Well, I usually repeat the last name, but there was Brock. I'm like, it's usually someone between us. So I'm like, okay, I'll change it up for the new
That is
millennial.
Toby.
I go backwards.
And then, that is Kevin.
And Kevin is noting that at the start of a new decade, the first Fbomb on this podcast was dropped by Brock.
Yes.
10 seconds into the first show.
There you go. Gotta
get that explicit rating, baby.
Yep.
This ain't for kids. It's not for the faint of
Comics
heart.
aren't for kids anymore. Biff, bang, pow. So we're going to talk some comic book. Actually, almost no comic books. We got some movie news stuff to talk about.
Why do we call this a comic podcast?
Well, because we talk about comic books regularly. They're all based on comic books. Just it's the start of the year. There's nothing going on comic book wise. Kevin has a listener question that he would like to propose to all of us. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Other than that, everyone have a good start to New Year.
How's the holidays for everybody? Because,
Yeah. Do anything special? Do anything fancy?
I'm here, so that means I survived it.
Okay. Toby went to Hawaii.
Hell yeah.
It's nice.
Hell yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
My favorite place.
Excellent.
I'll go back soon. Give me more money, Ryan, so I can go back soon.
You owe me money. What are you talking about? Come on. I got boxes of statues in the back for you. Get your shit out of here.
Okay, how about once I give you money, you give me the money
give it right back to you?
Yeah, yeah. So I could go back. No, I did a hike on the first right up to Cocoa Head, and I was like, oh, fuck it. Start the New Year's right, man. Go on top of a mountain. Not die. And I didn't die, so I'm here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So again, my surviving thing is a good trend.
Yeah. We have a handful of little things to talk about. A lot of kind of some random, like, let's look forward at random stuff.
Did you solicit listener questions for this episode?
I got some questions.
Okay.
I got a bunch of questions. We'll get you. Your question could be the start of our question.
I just mean mine is not going to fill the back half of an episode. I hope you solicited.
Have you been on this podcast before? He certainly can.
Okay.
Despite Ryan's, general dislike of having to start this stuff back up after being off of it for so long, he's on track. He's on task. He's got it.
I got it. I am also finishing up a flu or cold or something, so pardon me if I'm hacking more than normal here. Comic book movies.
Yes, those are
There's
things.
quite a few of them. There's going to be actually it's kind of it's a quieter year for comic movies in 2020, if you can believe it. But I want to do a little rundown of the comic book movies coming out this year. Get our thoughts on them. Kind of early thoughts. See what we think. What we're excited for. What we're not excited for.
Yeah, maybe we could also give a meter of what is your excitement / interest level on a 1 to 5 scale, like a 3 being neutral for each title.
Did you listen to the Geek Box last night or
No.
something? Okay.
Was that on there?
Oh, there was a thread on Reddit on why are all video games scored 7, 8s, or 9s.
Oh yeah,
All right.
yeah.
And I actually the long part of the conversation that I started was I feel that. And this is appropriate to anything. I think it's worth having a conversation about this and continuing it here. That I think people, especially in the United States, have a mentality of a 50 is a 50 is a failure, a 60, a 6 out of 10 is a D minus, a 7 out of 10 is a C minus.
Because we got graded like that in fucking school.
Right. So when you have a 10-point scale with your IGN or Rotten Tomatoes is a 100-point scale, things like that. When you see something is a
7,
3.
that's a C. That's average.
yeah,
It's a 3.
when you see something is a 3 out of 5 or a 6 out of 10, you're like, oh, that a 6 out of 10 is terrible. But a 3 out of 5 actually is good.
I
right?
prefer a 5-star scale because if you want to use the grade comparison, it lines up to a grade scale.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's the problem is that a 1 to 5 is an F. Right.
Right.
And I think that's why I don't like 10-point grade scales because people get the wrong impression out of it based on our combined history of putting a letter grade to only half of that 10-point scale.
Right.
So that was. Yeah, I mean, you want to rank.
So if you read, no, I'm just meaning like you say a title, X, and I would say my interest level in that is a 5.
Right,
like
right,
I can't wait
Oh
for
my
that,
God.
or a 1 meaning.
Just apply this logic to the Rotten Tomatoes percentages.
Yeah, well, that's what
Boom.
they need to do. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes piece of trash. Birds of Prey, February 7th.
1 month.
I already know Brock's scale.
1
on
month.
this.
Right around the corner.
What? Damn it! Sorry.
Looking forward to Birds of Prey. I mean, that's a 4 for me, easy. I'm very excited.
Yes, 6. We get it. Okay.
What?
I'm off the scale.
Okay.
I'd say a 4. It looks fun.
Yeah.
It's a good collection of characters.
Yeah, I want to see what they do with this. I don't really know where this movie goes. It's going to kind of course correct her for a little bit from Suicide Squad. But the other characters look fun. Yeah, Toby's got some real hate on for this movie.
Not a 4.
But potential hate.
Potentially, I will not say anything until I watch it,
Yeah.
but I'm not feeling this one.
Yeah.
So it's a 2 or a 1?
I think kind of a 2 because I do like Black Canary. I do like Huntress, but everything else seems off. It's not Birds. So my problem is
It's not Birds of Prey.
it's not Birds of Prey.
Correct.
And my problem is Birds of Prey for me will always be Barbara in a wheelchair plus Black Canary and Huntress. That's the core of Birds of Prey. And now the normal's gonna think that this is the core of Birds of Prey. That's Harley and the birds, I guess. And I'm like, no. And Cassandra is supposedly an assassin that doesn't speak and is a complete badass and not a millennial. So, again, who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong about this, and I'll totally go watch it first day with all you dumbasses, and and I'll have my notes then. But for right now, I'm not very excited. I'm happy that they made the movie, but I'm not very excited right now.
Slight tangent, only because we're talking about Harley. I think this came up in the last episode we recorded before the break.
You finally watched the fucking shit.
So I don't think I got to mention this.
Yeah.
So I've now watched
You
all
didn't
the
tweet me at all.
episodes.
You didn't tweet me at all. I'm like just being on your case and like fucking watch this shit. You're like watching no mention of Toby at all. You didn't even fucking call me. I'm so disappointed. When I get excited, I call you, right? But when you get excited, I don't even exist in your universe, man. Like what the fuck, Ryan?
I'm waiting to talk about
what
it
the
here.
fuck, Ryan?
I'm waiting to talk about it here.
I feel like so on the outside with you sometimes, man.
So the Harley Quinn animated series on DC
So
DC
good.
Universe is actually really funny.
I really, really like it.
Yeah.
The shark is my favorite.
Yeah, King Shark's good.
And the old man. I like the old man.
Yeah,
About the old man from
it's
Connor and
yeah.
I don't know where he's from.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's, that's Jason Alexander doing that voice. George Costanza, Seinfeld.
Oh,
doing
really?
The voice. Yeah, the old guy. Yeah, it's very funny. I didn't think I would like it. The first couple of minutes, I'm like, okay, where does this go? But I found myself kind of laughing, chuckling as the show went on, and then by the end of the first episode, I think it becomes of the show. It is the rest of the series. Yeah. My favorite is Poison Ivy. No question.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
She's the straight man. She's so funny.
The way they play it all off is quite well done.
Yeah.
I think the DCU's best stuff is still Young Justice and Harley right now.
Yeah.
Versus the live action stuff.
All right, another movie coming up March 3rd. Let's see what everyone wants. What their thoughts on this
hold on.
is.
You missed the biggest superhero movie of all time.
What's
That's
that?
coming out next week.
What's that?
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
That is the biggest superhero movie there is.
I'm going to agree with Toby on
No.
this. I'm
Fast
actually
and Furious?
really excited to potentially maybe watch this.
Bad Boys for life, man. Bad Boys 3, man. Lick my boots because you. Oh, we didn't make a bet on that one. All right. Well, on Ghostbusters, you're gonna lick my boots.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
You lost that bet.
What's the March title?
Bloodshot.
Oh, I forgot about
They're dropping the trailer.
So, Bad
tomorrow?
Boys 3, man. How excited are we with Bad Boys 3, dude?
The
These
Vin
two crazy
Diesel-
directors are doing this third movie are fucking brilliant, man. I've been watching all the behind the scene stuff on YouTube, and so excited for it.
Cool. How
Yeah.
about Bloodshot?
So, Bad Boys 3, man.
Ryan, what's
let me-
your rating for Bloodshot?
I mean, one. I
Yeah.
will. I have no interest. I won't.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
mean,
by the company that did
So,
that?
it's
It's Vin Diesel, that
Is that-
one?
That abysmal
Yeah.
Ninja K and the.
No, so I look. I'm going a lot of this off of random things I've read over the last couple of years, but kind of, this Chinese company bought Valiant and relaunched it. Basically, it's like an IP farm, right? To go in and now finally they've got enough stuff together and they've got stuff signed up so they can actually start making movies and TV shows and whatever. And so this is the first one. I expect a very quick and sudden end to the Valiant universe when this fucking tanks.
Brock, what's your number on Bloodshot? I'm curious.
I mean, it could do
Yeah,
numbers
out
in
of
China,
all of us, I think you read
Yeah.
the most Valiant stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not Bloodshot at all.
well,
It's
right?
not what I just asked. I said of all of us, he read the
Hold
most.
on,
so
hold on,
what's
hold on.
his-
Okay.
Hold on. Before everyone else, but the last thing I wanted to say, this could cost them nothing,
Yeah.
and this could make $100 million in China, and then it's fucking, that's all they care, right? And it could bomb here, but it doesn't matter, right?
So
like, look at World of Warcraft when that came out. That'd be like $250 million in China. It was like one of the biggest movies ever there. And
What?
Hear it.
It bombed, yeah. Yeah. So it does, sometimes with these companies, it doesn't matter what it does here.
I mean, 3. I mean, part of me wants to see the trailer first.
Someone's got to see it for the
I mean,
podcast.
the trailer
Yeah.
came out.
Who's going to fall
yeah,
on that
absolutely.
sword?
It came out like half a year ago.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, because they were talked about releasing a new trailer.
I think it's like the final trailer.
like, I haven't-
But the actual trailer
There was a
came
trailer
out like half a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't.
Yeah.
Is it a
see that
Comic-Con?
one.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Almost a half a year, sure. Yeah, it's
didn't-
almost.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
Totally is.
I didn't even see anything. I saw like a screen, like a rotating thing of him getting shot, and that looks interesting. So I'm like, I'll watch the trailer. It's a 3. Yes, I'll go watch it for all you guys.
Okay,
If
what's
Birds
next?
of Prey is 2 or 3 for me, this is at a 1 or half.
Are you a one? Just
blood?
not
Yeah.
even 0? Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say a 0, but definitely a 1.
so-
I
when
actually like the Diesel, right? But I think this is at his D&D character movie that he did.
Triple X.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
Riddick.
D&D.
Riddick.
D&D. No, he did a movie based on his own D&D character.
Yeah, not Riddick.
No,
Oh,
Riddick I love.
Yeah, I know which
They,
one you're
they
talking
might not
about.
make the quality of movies on Riddick is not always on par, but
Yeah.
no, there's a D&D
Yeah,
movie he
it's
did.
a fantasy movie.
Yeah, that, it's based on his own
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
I just can't think of the title.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on par on that.
I have no idea.
Okay, hit us with the next one.
Well,
You know he's a total nerd, right?
Yeah.
Did you see his like Sharkman commercials from the 90s?
No.
Like, do you remember 90s they had like the fake Ninja Turtles, but they're shark heads? I don't know what they're called. Is it shark heads? They're like
You're talking about sewer sharks or whatever?
whatever they're
or-
called. Yeah, he did a commercial for that. He goes, "Look how cool this is." And,
Awesome.
fucking you could bite shit down with this action figure.
Okay.
And he's like, "Look at my guns too. These guns are on these shark figures too." Actually, it's totally not how he talked, but that's how I remember it.
Well, happy birthday to me. April 3rd is finally the New Mutants movie.
Ah,
Now, I did want to talk about this, actually,
Ah! Okay.
more than just...
What's your number for this, Toby?
I think. So I keep having to refer to Birds of Prey because I love those characters more than anything in the world. So Birds of Prey, what I put it at 2?
2.
I may have to move up Birds of Prey to 3 to put New Mutants just slightly back of Birds of Prey, just because of the just slightly back of Birds of Prey.
I have zero connection or interest in these characters.
It's got magic and
I know.
and moon
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, so I'm in.
So you did not see the new trailer?
I did not see the
Okay.
new trailer, but I'm going to put my number at this as a 4.25.
Okay.
What?
I'm really interested in this approach to the material because
Sure.
it sounds like something different, and I like Josh Boone as a director, and I think this could be,
This could be a sleeper hit.
yeah.
Now, I do want to talk about the trailer for a bit.
Yeah.
Can I talk around some
No,
stuff?
go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
just fucking talk.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
'Cause
I didn't mean to answer for you.
When they had that first trailer that came out like a year ago or whatever,
I think it was a year and a half.
it was a long ass time ago. I thought this could be really cool. It could be total shit, but there is a hook there with the Demon Bear saga from New Mutants
Also, it kind of...
as like a teen horror movie. Like I like that idea.
Also, our favorite con guy, our favorite
Bill
panelist.
Sienkiewicz. Oh yeah, he's all over this movie.
Dude,
yeah.
if you look...
it's his movie. I mean,
but if you
based on
look at his
art.
artwork and you use that as a backdrop for his...
Yeah,
you can
it's
kind of see it,
identical.
man.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
fucking cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is
Alright,
based
fuck.
on that his
I
run.
might be
right?
talking myself on this to go slightly higher than Birds of
3?
Prey. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
So far, it's tied now.
I am
Yeah.
a full
Tied.
4 out of 5 on this. I am very excited.
It's got magic in it.
I think it.
Magic looks like magic.
Yeah, I actually asked online because I said how much of this is reshot. Apparently nothing. They never reshot anything,
They just
or
never-
if they
released
did,
it.
yeah, they just scrapped it. So maybe
Yeah.
they went back to the editing and tweaked some stuff. But this, as far as I know, this is
Wait, what did Josh Boone do?
Well, so right now he's making The Stand, the Stephen King.
Okay.
But before that, he did. Well, you know what? I'll read the filmography.
Yeah, hurry up.
Go ahead,
Pull it.
Ryan.
Do you remember what he did?
No,
He sounds
I don't
familiar.
know.
No, you'll.
I have a feeling he's one of the guys. I actually am not a big fan of his work. That's what I'm worried about right now.
The trailer you
Is
get
he the Cloverfield motherfucker?
No.
you get a real quick hit of the Demon Bear and magic. So you get a little bit of that like superhero flair at the very end of the trailer.
Yeah.
But the
But magic
majority
looks like
of it
magic,
is, she looks
though.
like fucking perfect.
She looks like
Yeah.
she came straight out of the book.
And what's her name as
Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane?
Yeah, this looks good, too.
Yeah. Macy Williams. She looks great.
Yeah.
They show a little transformation.
Yeah,
I love that
just
magic
start.
has the accent. Yeah.
Yep, she's got the perfect haircut.
Yeah,
she looks
yeah.
perfect. I'm pretty excited for
Look,
this.
I think Birds of Prey, because I love the characters, this I'm actually more interested in the movie. So
Yeah.
I'm putting them on the same level.
Yeah.
Whether it's 2 or 3.
Brock,
It might be 3.
you gotta
Just a 3.
Might be 2.
I mean,
This one?
it's a 3. It's, I think, just waiting for the movie to come out and just, it's kind of.
5 is the highest, right? I just
Yeah.
want to make sure I'm doing this correctly.
And it is weird that this came out like just
Yeah, Macy is going to be like, dude, I was like 12 in this movie. Now I'm 25.
Yeah, I don't. It's so weird how long it took for this movie to come out, and it must be that Fox was like, shit, we're gonna sell to Disney. We've just lost everything. Dark Phoenix is a nightmare. We're just gonna scrap this, and hopefully people were like, no, actually. This is going to be okay, and it's free for Disney. They didn't pay for a penny for the movie, so just fucking put it out.
Well, they paid a lot more than a penny. It's just... It
was already done.
It's already covered in their big bill.
Right. Like, so it doesn't cost them. There's nothing. They don't have to do anything. It's just fucking ship it. Yeah. So, well, what's he done?
So, I should correct myself. I said I'm a fan of Josh Boone as a director, but most of the things that are on his filmography, he wrote, not directed.
Right.
But his biggest movie is The Fault in Our Stars, so far as a director.
Okay.
As a writer, he has a bunch of indie movies that I'm not going to list here on the show. because
Yeah, but
everybody's gonna
just give me the highlights. Give me the...
Here. It's a short list. He's not got a long filmography. I'm saying I like his approach to material.
I actually don't know him.
And
So it's
I'm-
not that guy I hate.
No.
What's the guy I hate? Fantastic Four guy. Tranks?
Josh Trank?
Oh.
From Chronicle?
Yeah. I
yeah,
dislike
okay.
that guy. I really dislike
No,
that
very
guy.
different. Very different.
Okay, what's the next title?
Next title is May 1st, Black Widow.
In!
Our first Marvel movie.
That
from-
trailer went...
Is that from... When was Spider-Man?
Last summer.
Yeah, but what was that, July?
July, yeah.
July to May 1st. Is that the longest in between?
Unless there's something longer from Iron Man 1.
like the early
Yeah.
movies. Like if you go like Avengers forward, has there been a longer break between MCU movies?
So almost a year.
Yeah, that's a long
Well,
time.
the last one was a mighty
I think it's over. No one's going to care. It's gonna
Toby,
totally
are you
bomb.
a 5 for Black Widow?
No, look, if Batman Forever is a 5, this is certainly a... Wait,
Batman
Forever? Wait.
Could be.
No, hold on. What's Batman, what's the one we went with Charlie where he, like, started the line? Batman Returns, Batman Knights, the...
Dark Knight?
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight is a 5.
No,
This is a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's Black Widow 4. Like,
Yeah, I'm
it's
obviously there day one.
I'm quite excited. I love the fucking trailer.
Leanne thinks it looks terrible, and I don't think
fuck
she's gonna.
Leanne.
I don't
Sorry,
think she's
Leanne.
gonna come and see it with me. So I may ride solo on this one. So
Solo, what
ride
the
with
fuck?
you.
You got
I'll
like
ride.
100 people from the store. Remember when you watched the movie?
it's not how this works anymore. You have to buy reserved seating.
You watched the movie. It was Suicide Squad, where it was you, and the entire theater was your guests.
I had to rent it out. That's a little different.
I'm going to say like a 3.75 on this. I just can't quite get myself over the hump. I'll see it. I just
Really? I'm so excited for this one.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm excited. This is the test. What can the MCU do post-Avengers? Spider-Man doesn't count. Spider-Man.
Okay, I'll take it back. You know why it's not a 5? Because of Taskmaster.
Yeah.
That's not why. If he looked like Taskmaster with the
Mine would be a
skull,
5.
Oh,
It'd be
dude,
a 5.
then I'd be like, okay, here's my panties.
I don't expect this movie's going to do like, a $60 million opening weekend.
I would think
and just
more
kind
like
of
Ant-Man.
And just kind of like, well, but that's
the first Ant-Man.
It'll probably.
but that is.
I think it'll probably
Hey.
do better than
Well,
It'll do better than Ant-Man, but it's not going to.
10 years ago, you do a Black Widow movie, it would have been Us.
Yeah.
Now that Black Widow has been in all these Avengers movies, all these normals are into it, I think it's going to do just fine.
That is
It's gonna be just
my
fine.
question, right? And this is, I think, is the big question on everyone's mind, and we're going to obviously talk about this at least one more time in this conversation. What does the MCU look like post Endgame? Do the fans keep going?
Oh, yes.
Do the new characters draw in people? Now, Black Widow is clearly a good link between the old stuff and what's coming, even though
you're about to sail into uncharted waters, really.
right, real quickly. So I think Disney's looking at this, going, that May weekend is our big weekend. It's got a good cast, great reception of the trailer. They've got to be eyeballing 100 million opening weekend. They've got to say this has to be, because if, like Guardians, like Ant-Man, like a few of those question marks in the past, if this hits, then
What did Captain Marvel do?
and humongous.
Yeah.
I actually think this wouldn't be too far, if not.
Captain Marvel was $1 billion movie. Black Widow break $1 billion.
I don't think this is far behind of Captain Marvel, because when Captain Marvel came out, she was not a known character to the normals.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Black Widow, Scarlett
Is.
Johansson's perfect for it.
Yeah.
And she's known to all the normals. I think this movie will just be fine.
And I think people have wanted this movie for a long time.
Yeah, and right. So I don't know. I think it's going to do very well. I don't think it's going to do Avengers numbers, obviously,
No.
but nothing does. Does it break $1 billion? Maybe.
I think
close.
I want to say because Captain Marvel got that big push, maybe not quite Captain Marvel numbers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's far behind.
But,
I'm going to root for it to beat Captain Marvel, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. I
She deserves it more than Captain Marvel, I'm sorry.
this is I think the film that decides the fate of everything going forward, right? If this kind of and Eternals kind of just
I'm worried about
then there's
I'm not going to lie.
Disney is going to very quickly.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Eternals, I think.
But if this is 100 million opening weekend, then fucking
Look, Black Widow, I think, is a safe bet, right?
Yeah.
Eternals is the question mark. Eternals has a little bit of the Inhumans hoopla on it.
Well, let's go to the not question mark. June 5th, Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, five.
There's my 5. There's my 5.
Five.
No question. Right, no question.
I'll even give this the Brock 6.
That trailer looks amazing. That is going to be that breaks $1 billion. Wonder Woman breaks $1 billion. What the first one came close.
So DC
This will
movie
do it.
running
This
out
will
of
do
theater?
it.
Huh?
Maybe
Running out of theater? Huh?
Maybe. I'll tell you what I won't be running out of theater for.
Oh, no.
That is July 31st Morbius movie. Now,
No, you are. You totally are. You're the biggest motherfucking fan of those movies of all time. Okay, let me recap here. Ghost Rider 2 starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
Who was the biggest fan?
it's amazing.
Exactly.
Ghost Rider 2 is
let me
amazing.
continue with this. There's a certain movie spin-off called Venom.
Yes.
Starring Tom Hardy. Who is the biggest fan of this?
Again,
And you should add, who was the person at this table who eagerly grabbed the Blu-ray
Oh,
from
yeah, hell yeah,
Ray's
hell yeah.
Santa bag?
you misunderstand my love of bad things for like my actual love of actual good things.
You're
right?
gonna be all over this fucking Morbius movie, man. Who's Morbius? Is it Keanu Reeves?
No, it's just Jared Leto. I'm
Oh,
going
you're gonna
in.
be all over this. Jared Leto in white makeup?
I'm going in with a 1, and I'm hoping I come out a 5.
You're coming out with a
right?
10. You're coming out with 10. You go like this greatest movie of all time.
If it's Venom bad, dude, Sony's on to something. Okay, like. Dude. You again? Did you ever end up seeing Venom?
No,
you didn't.
No, you stole the Blu-ray.
You yanked
the Blu-ray out from under me, so I couldn't get it.
To be fair, on Black Friday, about like 11:30
it's totally worth
at night,
like the $5.
11:30 at night. I already finished all my shopping. I already got all the movies I wanted on my list. Got whatever I wanted. I'm like, $6. Do I do this? Should I really go back? Should I really go back? And I fucking did it because of your dumbass, all right? If I hate this movie, I'm going to get $6 out of you. You go buy me a Subway sandwich.
Well, Venom is real dumb, okay? And I hope Morbius is just as dumb.
I actually have a buddy that worked on it.
So you're going in as a 1?
I'm
Brock,
going
what are you for Morbius?
This movie was coming out?
1, yes. But I'm going, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
0.
I don't know, man. I have to see a trailer first, but I'm thinking it's a 0 or a 1 right now. Why? This is one of those. Are they making a movie of it?
Right.
Why? Tell me, Ryan. Why?
Because Venom made like $900 million.
Venom is a little bit more known to all the fucking 5 and 7-year-olds that thought was like some fucking dude with tooths is cool.
Dude,
they don't even know who Morbius is.
What do you think the production budget on the Morbius movie?
I don't know how much.
$2 million.
How much was the production budget on Blade?
Yeah,
Blade was fucking awesome.
Yeah, Blade was
I didn't
fucking
say
awesome.
it wasn't awesome.
Yeah.
I was just saying how much was the production.
You know what? I'm going to go the high number at the table for this, and I'm going to say like a 1.5 because it's so random of a character
it's
to
actually
choose.
not so random. They've been fucking, now that Brock brought it up, they've been teasing Morbius ever since the Blade movies.
Yeah.
They've been talking about Morbius movies since Blade.
It's a character.
Before the MCU.
Yeah.
Blade from the 90s was starting from but I'm saying it was starting from 0 because there was no Blade knowledge outside of comics. Morbius is even more obscure than that.
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
What if we got Blade back in with Morbius?
No. We're already getting Blade movie.
Yeah,
it's already announced.
Yeah, for Marvel. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, apparently Sony's like, fuck it, we're just going to make money because Venom 2 was also this year. They fast-tracked that shit, right? It's Andy Serkis, right, which is super weird.
Wait.
Wait,
Andy Serkis is directing it. Yeah. And Woody Harrelson is Carnage, which is, again, I cannot overstate the weirdness.
Did you just fucking spoil the movie for me? Which you did like two podcasts ago?
Yeah, 30. Yeah. The weirdness of him, of Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Woody Harrelson as Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
30. Lane's Christmas present was 2 Christmases ago.
No,
wasn't it one? Was it last
year?
Christmas of 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
That's 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Not 30 episodes.
Okay.
60 episodes.
What's your number for Venom 2? A 5?
I mean, I'm going.
Are you a 5?
I expect it's going to be bad. I'm like a 3.
Woody Harrelson.
My problem though is, do they actually try to make a real movie, or do they lean into the stupid and then it's just kind of bad?
Yeah.
All right. Not unintentionally bad.
They actually have to try to make a good movie for you to like their bad movie, is what you're saying. They can't just make a bad movie for you to enjoy it. They actually have to try to make a good movie that happens to be bad for you to love it.
Bad movies made intentionally are terrible. I'm not going to watch Sharknado. I fucking don't. I would never.
Sharknado 1 is pretty fucking good.
But like,
you have to drink a few Jamesons before you watch it.
Right.
Venom maybe snort some shit before you watch it.
Venom is a bad movie that they tried to make good, except nobody told Tom Hardy, and so it's just such a weird movie. All right.
Well, I bought it for $6. I got
Brock,
my 5% back on red card.
Since you haven't seen the first one.
I haven't seen the first one.
Toby, Venom 2, you haven't seen the first one.
I haven't seen the first one. I bought it though.
Now the question.
What?
Yeah, okay.
November 6th, The Eternals. What? I mean, good cast, but like,
shit. Okay, I have to move Birds of Prey and New Mutants up so I could put Eternals.
The Eternals is more obscure than Morbius.
It's got fucking Cersei though. Cersei is one of my all-time favorite.
Yeah,
I think I'm.
Now.
So here's
New Mutants.
He's ranking.
What's the other ones? Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey, New Mutants, Eternals on the same level. Wonder Woman and with Black Widow in between above that for now. I'm not even going to give it numbers anymore. This is where I'm ranking it.
So Ryan, this is what we were talking about the other week with Lane with the comics Eternals.
Yeah.
So the premise this is the very short version. Don't worry. The Kirby issue that I'm looking at right now on that spinner rack, the dollar comic. the Eternals in the Kirby series is not set in the Marvel universe. The Eternals are these space gods that were on Earth millions of years ago and were the inspiration for all of mankind's religion and mythology, just called different names.
Sure.
And the premise is the space gods now are returning to Earth after all this time for the final throwdown with the forces of evil. It's not in the Marvel universe.
Right.
Having that set in a universe where the Norse gods actually exist is not the comics Eternals, so I have no idea what this is even going to be. You can't even use the comics as a reference.
Well, somebody on the forum, someone was, or it was a questioner on the forum. Someone's like, "What are some good Eternals comics to read before the movie?" And my answer is there isn't any.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And the weird part is you're saying that when a series was written by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, the Gaiman one with Ramita
I read them all
is just
in German, so I don't know what the hell they
it's
were.
just
but-
whatever.
The Kirby ones are his 70s bonkers Kirby period. They are fun to read. I don't know that I would say...
How much of that's going to come over to the movie?
Probably zero.
Yeah.
Because the premise I just described cannot happen in the Marvel universe.
Right.
Or can it?
Okay. The Gaiman one, that just seems like such a natural match of writer with material that was so crushingly disappointing when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was, as far as expectation and what it delivered, that's one of my most painful comics reading experiences
1602 and Eternals were both like, huh? 1602 was such a weird fucking book.
But it wasn't necessarily bad.
No, I just don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what's your number for Eternals?
I mean, it's a 3. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to see every movie on this list short of Bloodshot.
No, that's my job.
To be fair, Bloodshot is right in that Morbius level. I'm Venom, I'm Ghost Rider. So I think Bloodshot would be right in your fucking
I'll go see Morbius.
That you're going to love.
I'll go see Morbius, you go see Bloodshot.
All right, done. Deal.
Eternals?
We'll split it.
3. I mean, it's without a trailer, without any...
Yeah.
I mean, like, the cast is... Like
there's no... I'm never going to give a 1 to an MCU movie, right? Like, at this point...
Penance?
Huh?
Penance?
If it's done well, he's going to be like, it's a 10.
No, what's going to happen is I'm going to be like, that was a great 45-minute speedball movie, and then I walked out of the movie theater.
What's tough for me on this one is, again, no trailer.
Yeah.
I love Chloe Zhao's first movie, which was The Rider from 2018, which is a movie about kind of a broken down, washed up rodeo cowboy, which is like the furthest freaking movie premise from the Eternals as you can get. Yeah. So saying I love her first film, which does not have any resemblance at all to this, so I can't even anchor myself on that. I'm going to go with a 3.75. I really hope this is great.
Yeah.
It's a weird year, huh?
Yeah.
It is a very weird year for comic movies. Short of Wonder Woman.
Black Widow and Wonder Woman are the most recognized two characters.
Yeah.
Everything else seems like the normals have to get used to some shit.
And even Black Widow, I think, is
it's not a Wonder Woman level.
Not a lock. I think it's a good bet.
It's a good bet.
Wonder Woman, solid lock.
Oh, yeah.
Black Widow probably will do very well. Eternals probably will do very well.
Yeah.
The rest, fucking who knows, right? Birds of Prey has a chance to do good. I mean, obviously Harley's very popular. This could be like
it could be a really excellent movie, right? My
and this could be a
reservations of it are not.
This could be another Suicide Squad 800 million, February movie, which just fucking blows the barn doors off everyone. I'm sure internally they're not expecting that, but this thing opens with a $75-80 million opening weekend, opens big overseas, you're done, right? It's awesome, but it could also peter out, and
so more
we've
on that
all
list?
seen that. That's it for movies. However, we have literally been here for less than right at a week. None of these shows have even finished airing yet. And CW riding that DC train right into 2020 and 2021.
So we're getting our Lucifer Hellfire movie,
31 seasons and counting. Black Lightning has been renewed for season 4. Batwoman has been renewed for season 2. Supergirl has been renewed for season 6. The one that I really was not expecting, Legends, got renewed for season 6. I was
Wait, that thing's been on for 5 seasons?
I was convinced that they were going to end it here.
I want my Lucifer Constantine
They haven't
show.
even aired the first episode of season 5 yet, and they've already renewed for season 6.
Oh, wow.
And Flash is up for season 7. So yeah, because it's the first part of season 5 is next week for the Crisis crossover.
Oh,
That's the first
okay.
part. And Riverdale got renewed. CW renewed everything.
I thought you were going to say Riverdale got reared. I'm like, whoa.
So yeah, obviously CW is
So everything got renewed except for Arrow.
yeah, which was already ending.
I'm just pointing it out.
So now.
So we're going to get our Spectre show, and Amel's going to come
So
back.
now Amel can do that Source 8 or Code 8 TV show or what.
Is he doing a full TV show? I don't know.
Apparently. Yeah, I don't
man.
know any. I mean, that's their thing,
Sometimes
right?
you got to bet on yourself, man.
Yeah,
It's all right.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
hating.
Yeah, no, I mean they did that movie, right? It was
Yeah.
it was like their
It was in the top 10
Amazon
on
or
iTunes
whatever.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
yeah.
you got to bet on you put in your time and you want to bet on yourself. I'm all for that.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
All
sure, of
best of
course,
luck to
yeah,
him.
yeah. I'm sure there's always a spot at the table for him to come back if he wants, but yeah.
Or guest appearances on Green Arrow show, like the Canaries.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to say this doesn't even count Green Arrow and the Canaries,
Yep.
which I'm assuming will launch
Yeah.
either this year. And
Well, he can
and
cameo
Stargirl.
in any of the shows.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Yeah.
Yeah, and Stargirl, which should start airing soon, right?
It was supposedly spring.
Yeah. So
did you
and that's
cancel
also
your
gonna be on
DCU?
CW. No,
He doesn't
no.
cancel.
What the hell? I'll
You
cancel
let it
anything.
roll?
Yeah, let it ride, baby.
So what did you do with the one that we bought?
I still got it. I'll just use the code if they don't give the same deal next
So
year.
the day they cancel it completely and they're shutting it all down, you're like, I have a code for a whole year.
You
so
sons of bitches!
You can't cancel it.
Use my code.
Yeah, you're just gonna keep the code for now.
Yeah, I'll do it next
I mean, that's
year.
what I did too. I just let it roll.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, well, I asked this extra year.
It was a better price than
Yeah.
what we paid.
Yeah,
We'll see if we get a third year.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about
Yeah,
too.
we'll see.
I
We'll
may
see.
actually just give that code to as a present to someone.
Yeah. But all the CW shows are picked up again, and yeah, there will be quite a bit of comic book TV shows. I'm caught up. I'm caught up on everything that I'm current with. I'm still back on some shows, but I'm
Totally not caught up
Caught
on
up
anything. So
on all that stuff. And that was really that we did our New Mutants talks. That was it really for the big news. It was light on news, obviously, because we're just starting the new year. But we have a bunch of questions. Now, Kevin, you had a question. Do you want to pose it to everyone?
Sure, I'll pose it to everyone.
Yeah. Brock walked away for a second. He'll
We'll
come back.
go with Brock last on this. So this comes out of a creator
this is going to
interview
be
I was
brilliant
doing.
because we're all going to go.
Yeah.
And then he's going to come here. You're going to ask the question, and it'll take him 10 minutes.
No,
to
he
know
has
the
his answer.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this comes out of a creator interview I was doing, and it's just like a side conversation that popped up, and I was wondering what you guys thought. So the question is, because we've talked before on this show, once upon a time there was a listener question about the comics Mount Rushmore as like historically the most important creators. So this is the different version. This is your personal Mount Rushmore of comics artists. So no honorable mentions. This does not factor in historical importance. It's just your favorite, like closest to your heart, art you would buy, whatever, however you want to judge it. Your 4 faces you would carve in the rock as your 4 favorite comics artists. Now, Charlie's not here, but he gave me his choices. Brock, you know yours.
Yes.
Oh,
Ryan?
so it's your personal. It doesn't even have to be what you think should be.
Nope, your personal favorite.
Well, to me, I think there's a difference when I think favorite and carving into Mount Rushmore. That has a significance.
Okay. Yeah, the Mount Rushmore is just a phrase.
But I actually do take it differently because your 4 favorite artists is a very different list. To me.
Well, so I just wanted to make sure you're not factoring in how much impact did this person have on the industry with Mount Rushmore.
But that is sort of
That's a separate conversation, though.
okay.
Because who I would say is my Mount Rushmore as far as like importance to comics.
Because that really changes my answers. I'm going to go with my original answers. So. Okay, I got my answers. I'm going to go.
See,
with
if
my
you were
original
saying who's the most influential creators in history, that would not be my list of favorites. I don't think there'd be any crossover.
Right.
So I want you to get at favorite. Here's Charlie's.
Okay, well, I may have two different lists then.
Well, here's Charlie's. Kirby, Ross, Jim Lee, and Bruce Timm.
Yeah. No, you said you didn't. I would have called that. I would have called that list.
I didn't know he was that much of a fan of Jim Lee.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, I learned something about Charlie. Brock, who's your 4?
Jim Lee, Joel Jones, Clayman, and Ivan Rice.
Good stuff. Good current stuff. Yeah. So I looked at this question a little bit differently. So my list is going to be maybe top 4 artists is something that would change constantly. But
right.
There are 4 that I put kind of in a different. They mean more to me than my favorite artist of right now. Right.
Sure.
Right. So. And the very first answer is a little bit odd because there are times where I have not been his biggest fan, but that is Jack Kirby. It took me a while to appreciate him. Definitely when I was younger, in the late 80s, early 90s, Jack Kirby was not my style at all. Right? But looking back, I do appreciate his art more now, but especially the insanity of what he did, especially as the later FF stuff. Yeah. Those photo covers with like Silver Surfer are weird, very very weird. Obviously all the New God stuff, right? So I like that. My kind of go-to. Let's see, I'm make sure I got everything down here. My kind of go-to for.
Jeez, I thought about it and.
Well, no, yeah.
Well, you flipped it on it a little bit. I misunderstood the question early on, too. I would have had a different answer than what I'm going to give you now.
That's fine.
Yeah. Because you say favorite, that changes quite a bit.
My favorite from my older comics outside of Kirby is Carmine Infantino. Flash and the Adam Strange stuff. That dude no one has as clean of a style as him. And I never like when people say DC had shitty artists in the 60s.
Oh, that's insanity.
But people say it, right?
Yeah, people who are misinformed.
Yeah, Carmine Infantino, his Flash stuff is so good. It's different than Kirby and Ditko. No. It's very different, but there is a cleanness to his style that I think was rarely imitated or approached ever almost in comic books. That dude, his line work was perfect every time. My number 3 would be Rumiko Takahashi. Yurusei Atsuwa, Ranma. Yep. Again,
Maisini Kuku.
Yeah. Some of my earliest comic reading was manga, and Ranma 1/2 is a huge influence on my early comic reading, and her art, it kind of defines 80s anime and 80s manga, right? Her style was so, I don't say replicated, but so influential for that stuff. It influenced almost the entire genre. Easily my favorite mangaka, manga creator. So, and then on a slightly more modern, but not really, but there's no question that my favorite modern artist is Frank Whiteley. Just, again, I've talked about him to death, so I don't think we need to.
So your answer was mine. Well, I don't know what was.
Well, if you're like, what's your top 4 favorite artists for right now? It would be nothing against Brock, but it would be a list probably more along Brock's list. Whereas the Mount Rushmore list, I have a different mindset when you say that.
That's hard. That's really tough. And
because Mitch Gerardis would be on that list of top 4, what are your 4 favorite artists?
He was in contention when I was thinking about it and stuff like that.
It is a different list.
Mount Rushmore means it's kind of a different level, almost like legendary status. So I have a hard time with my answers, actually. One, because I probably should have done more research before coming in, and you just posted this question not too long ago. But look, the top for me is Takehiko Inu from Slam Dunk and Vagabond. His line work is just freaking insane. I mean, I'm a big fan of his Slam Dunk work because of the story, and I thought it was, it's basically a custom comic book made for me at that age, right? But if you look at his actual work, where he's like all out, like Vagabond, he's more so in that. And he had some of the glimpses in Slam Dunk. That dude can freaking draw. So I mean, I think he's up there for me because anything he does, I'm like blown away, especially when he goes into line work. I'm not the world's biggest Dragon Ball fan, but Akira Toriyama, I'm like, everything he draws I like. I'm not even the biggest fan of like the stories, like Dr. Slump, I thought is like there's so much details in his backgrounds, there's so much details in his vehicles, and all the people are like, they got good charisma on them, they have good faces, expressions, like, yeah, he's up there for me, and I'm not even a big there's Dragon Ball fans out there, right? I'm not even a Dragon Ball fan, so to speak, but Akira is definitely up there for me. Then I'm gonna go with Albert Uderzo from Asterix fame. I think he's phenomenal. He also did a bunch of other comic books I really like, and this is where I wish I got a little more time because a lot of those comic books I grew up on, and I just watched the panels or looked at them. There's a certain artist that did multiple of those books, which I didn't realize till later in life. So, and I'm not sure if he's one of those, and he very well might be, because there's like the Gaston book, which I think was done by someone else. And I'm a big fan of Lucky Luke, which I think was Uderzo. I'm not 100% sure, but there was definitely a panel of people that I really should make double check one of these days, because there was a correlation of creators that I just loved. And it's one of those where I'm like, as a kid, you don't pay attention to, your creators as much as later in life. But I remember just like some of these panels I was just thrown away, and it's just really, really, really good work. And then I have to give it to one of my, classic Jim Lee. I have to give it up to him because, he also spawned a lot of other artists that were dubbed the Jim Lee clones, which I also really, really enjoyed. So, you have to go back to the original, Jim. Jim is always going to be one of my mans.
I mean, there's probably no more influential modern artist than Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
For like American comic book stuff.
He got influenced too, right? That is not to say Jim is, King Kirby is the man. But for me, the books I grew up on, Jim's a huge part of that.
We've talked. The line from Neil Adams to Jim Lee is straight and short. It's Jim Lee is a Neil Adams clone, right? If you want to get technical, but that's not that's not a bad thing. It's everyone comes from somewhere.
But a lot of the so-called Jim Lee clones down the line I loved. With that in mind, Jim is the dude.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a tough. I really went back and forth on this question. So mine would be, because a lot of so I would need a Mount Rushmore, and then I need to chisel a smaller one right
Okay,
underneath.
Bryce.
Yeah, right.
You're 7 Mount Rushmores.
I know, yeah. But I think just factoring in like history, the most enjoyment that I've gotten over the years, maybe the person is not as great now as they once were. Mm-hmm. Well, that's certainly with like Infantino. Mm-hmm. Infantino in the 60s was a god.
Yeah.
By the 80s, not the case.
Sure,
but like you can't. So I'm going to say George Perez.
I was literally about to say chisel George Perez down in the corner for me.
Yep.
So
George Perez is amazing.
Jim Aparo.
Mm-hmm.
Garcia Lopez.
Yes.
And I got to give that fourth slot to John Byrne.
Yeah.
I fucking love John Byrne. All with you, man. Those are amazing. They're all amazing.
But anyway.
I mean, but you said your own, right?
Yeah, your own.
Yeah. Some of those could have included mine. It's just the European and the Asian comics had to be included in mine.
Yeah.
Just they're such a big part. I couldn't. If you given me like 3 different round marks,
of course,
the European comics for the Asian comics and the American one, then we're talking.
There's lots of mountains everywhere.
Then we're probably I probably have quite a few of those guys on my list too.
I think it's also just with comic books in general. Like there's, we have a golden age, we have a silver age, we have a bronze age, we have a modern age. Like of each, I mean, it's almost as if there's picking an age is the better way.
Yeah, they're all very different.
They're all very different, and influenced and all that stuff. So
Golden Age stuff is very rough.
Yeah.
It's hard for a modern audience, I think, to appreciate a lot of Golden Age.
Yeah.
I appreciate it from a creative point, but it is hard for it. Yeah, I'm not going to make a comparison, but it's a little bit like looking at like religious art. If you ever go to like a museum, you're like, I understand, but this is just not my style. Yeah. There are a lot of golden, and that's not to say everything. Obviously, there's lots of fantastic Golden Age art stuff, but a lot of the real early stuff. And I'm only familiar, honestly, with the real early DC and Marvel because I've actually read.
It's also a product of the technology of the time. Like,
styles. And
you mean pens and pencils and all that stuff have been around for a long time, but they've evolved, and how artists draw has evolved from that time.
Oh. Very, very good artists for doing the greatest art that's ever been created hundreds of years prior to this. But these were poor kids being paid nothing to draw this stuff. It's very different.
And it was looked at as a disposable art, like doing newspaper strips.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to read it and throw it away.
Yeah.
Oh, man, when are those Calvin and Hobbes coming into the store?
The Golden Age stuff is the covers. There's some wild covers.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful stuff.
And if you look at artists like Mac Reboy.
Hey, a little bit like today.
Is great. Would have been great in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Like, he's just good. Eisner would have been a solid creator in any decade.
Yeah.
It's just that those are few and far between.
Yeah. Well, and Eisner, the comic strip stuff is so different for... So we got some questions on Patreon. If you would like to back us on Patreon, that's patreon.com/comicconspiracy.
Were we going to go over our list for Comics Conspiracy sales?
No, I just bring that up.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
What's
Forget
that?
about it. Let's just go to the questions
you
were planning.
Yeah, no.
You're going to the questions.
Okay.
Don't disappoint those Patreon people.
Well, what's our... We can do that next week. What's our... we got a little bit of time. We can talk about it real quick.
Fuck off.
Why? Do you not want to know our best-selling things of...
The most boring part of the podcast.
Okay. I don't have it ready. I completely forgot to have it on the list.
Yesterday,
Toby, come back. You didn't have it ready.
It's going to be on next week. Next week's fine. Yeah, we'll go through our. We'll go through our.
Oh, he's
our
already
list
committed to the wall. He's already committed to perusing.
So we have some. Toby's going to miss out this question. Our Patreon questions. It's from Mikhail on Twitter. It says, thoughts on what would be the industry would be like if comic books behaved more like manga? For example, mostly black and white pages, different chapter release schedule, and higher amounts of genres such as slice of life. It's tough. I think the manga boom, and obviously if you listen to Manga Machinations, and other people have a better knowledge of how this works. But
what's the actual question?
What do you think the industry would be like if Western comic books behaved more like manga?
Well, they tried numerous times.
Black and white, cheap paper, different genres.
But they've tried.
Not sort of. My understanding of manga, the success of manga, comes from
the story.
Well, no, that's not what I'm coming from. The availability of extremely cheap paper, these humongous tankobons, the volumes, the huge collections that were incredibly cheap, and they were read by young and old, but they were available. The equivalent of our newsstands here, but it's very different in Japan with the rail system and subways and blah, blah, blah. So there was just a lot more accessibility to them. The continued success of manga comes from the big characters, the American comic book obviously Shonen Jump is different than American comic books, but there are some similarities between superheroes and the big popular stuff in Japan. Whether it's your Dragon Balls or Gundams, or whether it's your, Naruto, One Piece, it's
definitely a hard comparison, right? But there is a lot of manga-like material here that we just don't call mangas,
right?
Like, remember back in 2000, we had the Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. That's a manga title in color,
right?
But that's a manga title,
right?
Like, well, if you take in the manga. The story, the type of stories, the slice of life stuff.
The reasons, but the success of manga came from the price and the availability at the time. You put $10, 600-page black and white comic books printed on tissue paper in a bookstore that doesn't exist, and no one will buy it. Yeah. No one will see it today. You put that out for 15 cents in 1938, we suddenly have a very different story.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it would not work today. Period. Flat out. Would not work. Zero chance. Because the industry.
It's a different industry, but like Walking Dead to me is a manga. It's a horror manga.
Well, manga just means comic book, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but the Walking Dead style, I mean, that's basically a Japanese horror. I mean, look, it's Robert Kirkman's Walking Dead, obviously, but it's a very much an American version of a slice of life horror.
But it's the release schedule. It's the.
Sure, I think people in America would just die from drawing the amount of stories that they have to do.
Yeah.
They would like. I think the closest we come for an American team to do a manga is maybe Ultimate Spider-Man, Bendis, and Mark Bagley that were together for so long. I mean, like a manga, you basically have the same creative team for the entire run, right? That's the biggest difference. And I would say Ultimate Spider-Man is as close as we get. Walking Dead is as close as we get to a American version of a manga.
But I think I think what you said earlier about the accessibility of it and where it was accessible, like it's on people's commutes. Like they have their culture is they don't get in a vehicle and drive to work. They walk to a train station or they get on the bus. And so having these outlets that we used to have in major metropolitan areas in America.
Still do, but there's no newsstands.
But there's no newsstands anymore. Yeah. And that's the thing
manga's dropped pretty significantly in sales too because of the invention of the cell phone, right? I mean, the smartphone.
There's a lot of weird like cell phone comics now where you like swipe down and stuff. It's a little weird. I haven't quite gotten used to it yet.
Yeah, big there, not here. So
you may disagree with this as a store owner, but I do think there's room in the marketplace for somebody to, I don't mean the whole marketplace changes, but I think there's a niche for, instead of a monthly comic, every 3 months a giant comic and tell the story in chunks like that instead of monthly.
I mean, I don't think so. It's a good discussion point. I think they try it numerous times. Like those Walmart comics, I would beg. It's kind of like that idea, right? It's 4 comics in one.
To me,
what I meant is not because those have a lot of reprint separate stories. Yeah. I mean, instead of Wonder Woman number 1, number 2, and number 3, you get Wonder Woman number 1, and it's a triple-sized issue, and it comes out every 3 months.
The things that have been proposed,
is what, the DC Black Label books, anyways.
Kind of
the things,
right?
DC's the Black Label's every other month, right? The things that have been proposed, the problem is, people have proposed similar stuff to this. The problem is you're cutting off a sales option, right? Because you're talking about a graphic novel is all you're talking about. Right, a smaller graphic novel, but that's what it is, right? It's multiple chapters. So the single issues, the graphic novel, the dinky 6-issue graphic novel. There is another. I mean, that and the 12-issue oversized hardcover. These are 2 different sales, right? On either side, every other week 10 chapter. And in every other month or every 3 month, or 10-page verse, and every other month, 3-chapter book, half a trade. Those don't fit into, those wouldn't really fit into any of the pre-existing sort of markets. It would be like trying to create a whole new market, and I don't see there being an audience for that. They tried a they tried a War Machine manga comic that was 10 pages. Remember that, or 12 pages?
That was horrible.
Yeah. And it was thin and felt crappy. The problem is manga originally, I mean, they're sold 60 of those slapped together, right? There just isn't.
It wasn't just War Machine. It was a weird Spider-Man title. It was there was a few of them.
Did they do more than that? I remember the War Machine one.
And they were and then they had the tsunami ones.
Well, those were just shitty wannabe manga.
Yeah, the Human Torch had one.
Ben Dunn garbage.
They had some good art in some of them, but it was a weird try.
It was
wasn't one of the creators writing as a Japanese name, but it was actually an American dude.
Oh, is that?
Oh, that was
current editor-in-chief.
Is that? Yeah, wasn't it that? That was then, right?
Yeah.
During the tsunami, right?
Ben Dunn did all that. Who does? Was it Gold Digger? Right, which is a very
no, but the Marvel line, the Tsunami line,
right? Yeah.
That was him.
pretty sure that was Ben Dunn that headed that up. Other people worked on it,
okay.
but I looked that up, and I'm pretty sure that was Ben Dunn. But yeah, no, there's no interest in that stuff at all.
I know Rucka has taken Lazarus to quarterly.
Yeah, which is
like
fine.
he's taken it to quarterly. It's a thicker issue. But again, I think a
once a year book that's like a once a year 200-page graphic novel.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, those Bendis ones are technically mangas, right? I mean, they're his crime stuff. The Jinx and stuff, Powers. I mean, those are his books, right?
Again, the mistake here is that there is no single issue manga. They come in these massive tomes.
Yeah.
That is single issue manga. That would not work here.
Oh, but I'm saying the creator-owned stuff is really what you're looking at. Like Giant Days,
different. It's different.
The American version of a manga, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
no.
What it is the Japanese give you a completed story.
Well, because we're not talking
in one of their volumes.
Not at all.
It might not be completed, but
it's 10 pages of a 30-year story in one volume. That's what I mean. Like there is no. This shit does not exist in Japan. These little dinky pamphlets that we have here.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying.
The majority of the sales come from the collected editions, right?
Yes.
But the
they're single issues and the fat ones.
Yeah.
It's newspaper. You recycle that stuff.
Oh, they're
It's
garbage.
not meant to be kept.
Right. They're not collectible.
But if you love the story and you want to keep it, you buy the collected editions down the road. Yeah.
Right. And that is what we have here. It's just, imagine if you walked in and there was a Marvel book every week that had 50 different stories in it.
It really is. I mean, all you do is combine all your wall into one fat book that you buy weekly, and that you read all of them.
But it's not
for $10.
Right, it's not $10. It's like $150, right?
But
that's the difference.
If the system would be here, it'd be literally your entire new wall.
Right, was one book.
Or
2 books.
Yeah,
Marvel,
DC. Yeah, and maybe a third.
You would have Image, Boom. Each one would have. You'd have maybe
but it'd be $10.
Yeah.
Image would be $5.
Yeah, and it would be on toilet paper.
Yep,
is what they're printed on.
Yeah,
like single monochrome color.
Yep.
Garbage paper.
Yeah.
And then you buy the nice collection later.
Yep.
It would never happen. I mean, that's just not the way the industry
It's just a completely different system.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get to. The idea that Giant Days and Walking Dead are manga. Well, everything is manga.
It is just a comic. But if you're looking at the slice of life, the way the storytelling,
correct.
Creators from beginning to the end.
Well, and every independent creator in the last 5 years is raised on manga, and anime. So obviously. Yes, there's a lot of influence there. Zach says, in honor of New Year's, do you guys have any comic-related New Year's resolutions or any big plans for the store in 2020?
Actually, read some comic books.
New Year's resolutions are garbage. Do not do them. They're pointless.
So what are your New Year's resolutions?
None. I don't have. I do not.
Do you have
that does not surprise me at all, Ryan Higgins.
Do you have a 2020 comics-related goal? Whether or not you decided it on January 1st, do you have a 2020?
His goal is for the 3 Jokers to come out.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll come back to that topic. Go ahead, though.
No, I mean, the only thing I have planned for this year was something that was supposed to happen last year and didn't happen, and my hope is that it happens this year. So there you go.
Doomsday Clock?
There you go. I know. Doomsday Clock came out.
Well, what didn't happen last year?
Huh?
New Mutants?
A deluxe hardcover for Mr. Miracle.
That too.
Oh,
trying to bring someone to the store. We're working on it.
Oh, it's going to happen this year.
Yeah, that's my hope. Hope. So, how about you guys? Do you do resolutions?
Yeah.
Comics related, though, was his question.
Yeah. Comics related? Not really. I mean, read more.
I have. I wouldn't call this a resolution, but I have plans this year to reread complete runs of some things that I haven't read in 10 plus years.
Yeah.
It's always I would like, why didn't you reread that? Just never. Yeah. Last year,
the end of 2018 into 2019, I finished rereading Sandman.
My yearly rereading of Watchmen and Sandman has become a decade reading of Watchmen and Sandman. So
it seems like Watchmen would be easy to knock out. Sandman is a big commitment.
Yeah.
May have to read the Watchmen again.
I watched the show. That's a fucking good show.
Verum Libertas has a question, which Craig Anderson wants to just let us know that he fully supports this question. And the question from Verum Libertas was, this is probably covered in the past episode, but can you guys talk about comic book binding for single issues? I'm wanting to collect a few runs to save space for display. Any company recommendations? Yeah, we've talked about this on a few episodes in the past.
You?
The joke is Craig has asked about this like 800 times after we talked about it.
Yeah.
I might officially be giving up on my binding because here is my 2020 resolution is to sort my entire the unsorted part of my collection into the bigger collection, and that includes my binding stuff. That is going to be done this year. So that is my comic resolution.
I really wanted to bind a few books.
I'm going to have a bunch.
But then DC decided to go, oh, no, you don't have to do that. We'll just release the trades finally. And then they go, well, fuck it. We don't really like you, so we're going to stop it halfway through and fuck you. So you're going to have to probably bind your shit anyways.
It's really cool. It's expensive.
Yes. Mapping can be a bitch.
It suddenly takes up a lot of space very quickly because you're like, that one run was cool. Let me look at this 800 issue run. Maybe I'll bind that next. And suddenly you've taken up like 4 bookshelves and you're like, what
Luckily,
did I do?
all the stuff I want to bind is self-contained in ways. Yeah.
Like, I mean, mine, I have a handful of things that are like Justice League Generation Lost. Right, they put out a hardcover. I didn't get it at the time.
Yeah,
they weren't going to do a soft cover, so I just had it bound. It's done.
I may rebuy those Birds of Prey soft covers.
Yeah,
just so I could bind the first 3, and then I'll use the single issues to do all the rest of the run. And I have to do my Nightwing, even though they keep re-releasing the early parts, but never the complete run. I have to do my Gambit and I have a map for it, which I'm quite excited about.
And we do in the past we used Herring and Robinson, right, which is based up here in
Brisbane,
by San Francisco,
just right next to San Francisco.
Yeah, so we're lucky because they were one of the best ones, and I haven't checked on them in the last year or so I don't know. I'm assuming they're still doing it, but they were ones recommended by most people, and it was lucky because we were local, so we could actually just go up and pick up, and we got to see the warehouse and how they made them and everything. It was a really cool experience. Yeah. It is a dramatic shift to how you collect comic books, and once you start, you can't go back because you've cut them up and bound them. So
do it smartly.
Yeah. Do a test run, see if you like it.
Like, there's a learning curve with it. Like, there's definitely things that you change up as you go. Like, and I mean, not a lot of stuff is available. Like, for like what is it? Putting the image in it. On like a cover or something?
Yeah. Other people have to get involved with that. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like John Byrne Namor would have been one I would have done. But then there's an omnibus coming out. Like a lot of the ones I would have done, they're either starting to release self-contained collections or trades that would just collect the trades, which, come on, DC, just finish your shit.
Are there any other Patreons?
We got 2.
Okay.
It's a double one from Chris Lockhart. He says, what comic book TV shows we look forward to in 2020. It's a lot. Look forward to all the CW shows that just got reannounced. Well, 2020, we're looking forward to the end of Crisis. Yeah. Stargirl. Yeah. Very much.
Doom Patrol Season 2.
WandaVision.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that got bumped or pushed back to 2020, pushed forward to 2020.
Yeah.
Very much.
Mandalorian Season 2.
That's not comic book.
There will be a Mandalorian comic. Give Marvel a couple months.
Go on, Baby Yoda plastered all over a comic.
Well, I feel.
I guess the 2 Marvel shows for me.
What else?
The Falcon one.
Yeah,
that's not this year though.
It will be. I'm willing it. Have you not read The Secret that all the girls read? I'm just willing it. It's happening this year.
For the new stuff, Stargirl and WandaVision, I think would be the thing too. Past that.
The new season of The Boys, the new season of...
That's soon, too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that was this year.
Yeah. Well, they filmed it, didn't they? Like halfway filming when season 1 came out? Yeah. Yeah. Oh! Umbrella Academy season 2! Fuck yes! That's a 5 for me right there.
I assume they were. I just didn't know.
5.
I just didn't know.
It's a 5. And Stranger Things, yes, it's not a comic book.
I'll take it.
Doesn't matter. I'm in.
Question from Chris also, what comic book and pop culture gifts did you guys get for Christmas?
Huh?
What comic book or pop culture gifts did you get for Christmas?
Oh,
I literally got nothing for Christmas this year.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's not true. You got 3 A-Team comics sitting in your box.
Huh?
I sent you that message.
That's for real?
I said Merry Christmas. Yeah, I
Oh,
found
fuck yes!
found
There we go. I got 3 issues
the
of the
1980s
A-Team.
A-Team Marvel
Fuck
miniseries.
yes. There we go. I did get a Christmas gift.
Toby Mint.
Wait, did I get Christmas gifts this year? I'm trying to think.
You went to Hawaii?
Well, that's a Christmas gift to
He said
myself.
comic or pop culture.
I just got 2 Star Wars books.
That's good.
I'm going to feel really stupid if one guy after this podcast was like, hey, dude, I gave you this and you were happy about it. And I'm like, I totally forget. I don't know if I received anything for anybody this year. I only exchanged presents with my buddy Nate, who I haven't seen yet. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely light on gifts. We're also taking a trip, so
Yeah.
a lot of the gift stuff is
Well, thanks for the A-Team. I
Is
thought that
up
was
in
a
trips.
joke.
No,
I was like
yeah,
going to
no.
buy them from you, man. I'm like, hell yeah.
I got myself a gift for Christmas. That's a little
Nice.
different though. I notice what's missing
Why?
from your view.
The crisis box.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I picked it up?
You took it home, right?
Yes, I took it
Okay.
home. Yeah. That was that Crisis on Infinite Earths box set. I was like, if I sell it, awesome. My Christmas gift is like $500 to myself.
Nice.
Otherwise, my Christmas gift is I'm just taking.
Oh, my
myself,
Christmas
so.
gift to myself was the entire Black Friday day.
Leanne got me a is it Sugarfina that did it? It's a
Did she recut Thor for you?
no, it's a Mario World 1-1, and you open it up and it plays the music
Nice.
from the game.
Nice.
Or it's like but it has it's a candy thing, right?
Nice.
Yeah. So that was fun.
I'm trying to think. Someone must have given me something. I'm totally forgetting it now. Now I'm going to be such a jackass for not remembering it.
Kevin, you?
I don't get Christmas gifts.
Yeah. So we're in the same boat. Yay. Yeah.
Final Patreon question from Craig Anderson.
Oh, yeah. I got the 18th. I
Is
keep
this a
forgetting.
binding question?
who's a very big fan of binding. He says, way back in the day, we used to have great team-up books like Brave and the Bold, DC Comics Presents, Marvel Team-Up, and Marvel 2-in-1. Do you think if they were brought back, would they sell well? And do they have to feature Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and The Thing to be successful? Yeah, I mean, they've tried a couple times.
Yeah, the Brave and the Bold that was the Mark Waid, George Perez, and then Straczynski and different
Fantastic.
artists was so good.
Yeah.
But the argument that I've always heard from a retailer point of view on this is it's too hard to order because the issues are going to sell all over the place depending on who the characters are.
Well, I think
Yep.
this one is a good thing of like cheaper, like we going back to the manga question we had. Something like this is like a bulkier amount, cheaper paper, like kind of like they've done some of these like DC's been doing the kind of 8 to 10 story anthologies based around like Valentine's Day and New Year's and Christmas and all this stuff. But I think like having like a Brave and the Bold kind of 100-page, 200-page thing that's just cheap paper that's like, here's some stories that we've accumulated for these characters and teaming up, and you get Martian Manhunter with some random character, or you get a villain team up, right?
I Marvel's tried a few times to do a new Marvel Comics
Presents.
Presents and
Man, can we get
and they did a Marvel
Wolverine's
team up.
daughter in there?
And they did 2-in-1
Yeah, which was
last year.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or 2 years ago.
To me, it is insane that Marvel and DC don't each have one book. Marvel can have Marvel Team Up. DC can have Brave and the Bold. Marvel Team Up has Spider-Man. Brave and the Bold has Batman. They're their 2 most popular characters. All right, very easy. They're monthly books. They're normal page counts. They're all one-shots.
Yep.
They are by whoever wants to do it. New creators, indie creators, old guys can come in. Anyone. It's like for scale, whatever. You know what I mean? Like this is just they're out of continuity. They're just their own thing, right? You can put every new creator you bring in. That's their test issue. They can go wild. They can experiment. you do not cancel this book, sales are irrelevant. That this book is not about selling. This book is about experimentation, finding new creators, experimenting with old characters, because you could have an awesome character that you haven't used in years, and suddenly you have one of these issues come out, and it's a cool story. Boom, you get a miniseries out of this thing, right? The proof is in the pudding, as they say. Like, you need that product that people can test.
Well, the thing is we've gotten to the point where second prints, third prints are pretty much standard now for stuff that's in demand. So if there's an issue that gets kind of
keep it in print.
Like, just
go
keep
wild.
it in print.
Yep.
You know, it's not something you need to go back to second print or third print. Just
Yep.
print more of them. Like,
Creatively, I 1,000% agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, financially, I mean, I understand.
Financially,
right.
Here's throw out an example. Here's the
Why would Jim Lee get paid nothing for?
here's
a
the
book?
Bendis or Alex Ross
Yeah.
Marvel team up with Spider-Man and
whoever.
Captain
Yeah.
Marvel.
Sure.
Whatever. Here's the person X that you've never heard of.
Yeah.
Batman and the Elongated Man.
Yep. Yep.
How would you order this book month to month?
I mean, the great thing about comics this past year is we have the comic industry has seen the success and how well both returnability and overshipping has worked for the comic industry. They're all just returnable. They're all low price. They're all entry level. It's all
cheap. Don't print it on the fancy paper.
Just
print it like low print.
There is a you will take a financial hit on most issues of this, but I think the and this is why it will never happen, the long-term benefit vastly outweighs the short-term monetary loss that you may suffer from each issue.
Well, the thing is like you can, like with something like Brave and the Bold, you don't necessarily need to make it Batman, right? It's like
No.
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me fucking finish.
The whole point of this
let me
is
finish.
you have Batman
let me finish.
and Spider-Man as the core characters.
Jesus,
Batman and Spider-Man are going to sell regardless.
I understand that.
All right.
But if you have Brave and the Bold, and you have things like we had Action Comics 2 years ago, 1000, Superman would have been the Brave and the Bold character over the flagship character over that. Batman was this year. Batman goes again, so on and so forth. Like, you have...
The hell are you talking about?
You're talking about have Batman be, like, the team-up character that everyone teams up with. Action was... the year Action came out, Action 1000 came out.
Okay.
If Brave and the Bold was around,
Yeah.
it would have been Superman that was the character that was going to be teamed up. Right?
He's meaning Superman was the hot character that year of Action 1000.
No, it's still Batman. It just...
Like Wonder Woman and Flash are
and Wonder Woman could be in the book with Batman, right? I mean, it's Batman and Spider-Man. This is not a question, right? I mean, those...
I fucking hate agreeing with Ryan Higgins. I never
This
want
has
to do
happened
it.
Toby, this happened to me like 6 times tonight.
Yeah, what is this fucking New Year where you make sense?
I understand what
Can you stop it, being annoying Higgins
I
you
know
are?
what Brock is saying, but
I understand that part. Like, it's always Batman.
Yeah.
But in the case of, it's the Wonder Woman's anniversary, or it's Flash's anniversry, it's Green Lantern's. We segment off, and there's...
Do you know they have anniversaries every year? It's pretty wild.
I'm talking like 80, 75, 80, 90.
The annuals? Fuck!
But
Why are you right,
I
Higgins?
so agree with this concept, and I wish they would do it. And I used to love those comics as a kid, as I'm sure Craig did. And it was so great. So many characters you would meet for the first time in Brave and the Bold that I had never seen, like Wildcat.
It's funny because I think some of the covers that I can draw from memory just like come from Marvel Team Up and Brave and the Bold, because the covers had to tell their own story. It wasn't just like a random pinup, right? I mean, those covers had to sell you on this team up. So when you're like, what the fuck's a Captain Britain? But it's Spider-Man, so let's see, right?
Yeah.
You know, those books, there's a real...
You know that the little
importance to
team-ups
those
and
books.
cameos matter quite a bit, because
Yeah.
the reason why, or I'm not sure which one came first, but the first Spider-Man book I bought had Punisher in it. And then the Game Boy game I bought was Punisher with the little Spider-Man in the back. And I remember playing that game and then Spider-Man coming to save the hostages and stuff. I was like, this is glorious. This is like, the two characters I know. So, yeah. I'm not sure what my point was on that one, but
team ups
You like team ups.
Yeah. Team ups are fun.
Is that before we go to Twitter questions?
Yeah.
Speaking of Twitter,
yeah.
Our 2020 poll, I checked it. I ran it for 5 days, so it ended yesterday.
Okay.
Right before recording.
Okay.
So the far and away number one winner, this was the prediction for what you would most likely see in 2020.
Yeah, so...
Joker's three stories. Joker's three Joker's story.
Three Jokers.
Yeah. Of these books, what do you think is actually going to be released in 2020?
Three Jokers was the far and away winner.
The
Snyder Cut was number 2.
So the Justice League Snyder Cut.
And not a distant number 2, like a solid number 2.
Okay.
Number 3 was Saga.
Okay.
And number 4 hurts me, but I can't disagree. It just hurts to say it, but was Miracle Man.
Okay.
With like a single-digit percentage of the votes.
My faith in Miracle Man happening is basically zero at this point, right? It's so
the year
weird.
that you weren't at Comic-Con, they made a huge presentation at the retailer lunch. It's like, why would you get up and say that? Just never mention it if you're not sure.
Yeah.
But to get up and do a big presentation...
Well, I think they were sure at the time.
Yeah, so what changed? You obviously didn't... You weren't sure.
Technically, they did. In Marvel 1000, they did one page of Miracle Man. I mean, technically, they have done new Miracle Man, right?
Fair.
But that's not...
Page?
That's not what...
That's not what they announced.
After like 30 years...
That's not what they announced.
One page is not what we're looking for. And I've had people ask me, they're like, so Saga? And I'm like, dude, I would not hold your breath. I mean, January means we have March solicitation. No Saga. Like, it could come out summer. It could come out, they could announce it at Comic-Con. It could be out before the end of the year. I think Saga could be back this year.
You think it's more likely that the Snyder Cut will be released than Saga?
I think the odds...
I think it's what he wants.
I think the odds of the Snyder Cut being on HBO Max in 2020 is more likely than Saga coming out this year. I really do.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we will keep the thread alive as these things are announced.
And I think Three Jokers is guaranteed. I mean, I think Three Jokers is happening. Yeah.
I just don't feel my life is complete without a constant Twitter notifications of some random comment on a thread from 6 months earlier.
Every week I'll go in and update. Yeah. Nope, not happening. Nope, not happening.
And then somebody will randomly retweet your middle comment out of like 7 that makes no sense out of context, but it's just by itself. And I'm notified because I'm tagged in it off the original thread. My life just wasn't complete, so I needed to start a new one. So we're off and running. Three Jokers, Saga, Miracle Man, and Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.
Let us know what you think is actually likely. We've had some people that have been actually going back and listening to this podcast from the very beginning.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you said that. Keep going. Finish your comment.
If you have done that recently, please let us know our absolute worst takes.
Well, I will happily and publicly eat shit when I am wrong, like with Doomsday Clock. But when I'm right, I'm going to crow about it. At the old store, I said at a table one night, I don't remember what the major topic was. I said to everybody I will bet everybody at this table $1, and you don't have to pay me if I'm right. I will pay it out if I'm wrong.
Okay. That
you will never see a theatrical Cyborg movie.
Yeah.
This is when DC had announced that whole slate.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you put a time on it?
I'll stand by never. You will never see it.
Toby's like, I'm getting that buck.
You will never see it. I'm not
it might not happen on this run. It might happen on the next one.
I'm not saying.
Hey, man, I'm getting Ryan to lick my shoes when Ghostbusters 3 comes out.
I don't know.
I'm not licking anyone's shoes.
You're licking my shoes.
I don't mean you won't see him in a DC movie. I mean you will not see a Cyborg solo movie.
Well, it was silly when they announced it.
I may owe the Gish Brothers dinner when Bill and Ted comes out.
You owe me some major shit for Ghostbusters 3, man. You were such a dick about it.
There is no movie called Ghostbusters 3 coming out.
It's the fucking Ghostbusters movie! You're not getting out of this on a fucking rule fucking shit.
A reboot of Ghostbusters? Absolutely. Ghostbusters 3? Never happening.
No, this is Ghostbusters 3! Kevin?
Bill and Ted It looks like I may lose this bet.
Yeah, you are.
Ghostbusters 3? Never happened.
What did you bet? Bill and Ted will never happen.
I said Bill and Ted 3 will never happen.
Okay, you're losing that bet.
Not out yet.
I thought they were just going to film it. And,
Don't say that with such a smile, you little dickhead.
I got some work ahead of me.
We're going to put this in the can. It's not worth releasing. There's no interest.
It's got
Are there
Keanu
Twitter
Reeves in
questions?
it.
Yes,
They
a
can
couple
just
Twitter
release
questions.
it.
From Armando, he says, anyone read Thor #1 yet? I loved it, but haven't seen it being talked much. Sticking with Marvel, Punisher Soviet came out of nowhere. I'm really liking what Ennis has done so far. How did an Ennis Punisher title fly under the radar? I never heard about it until it came out. The Punisher thing is just, I was like, cool, and this is on Punisher. That is out of nowhere, and nobody cared. It sold okay. It just
It's been done.
yeah. I'm just gonna buy the trade when it comes out. I didn't buy the singles. I have all the rest of them. So the Ennis Punisher stuff's some of my favorite work he's done. But
Did you read Thor?
So I read an advanced copy of Thor before FOC because I had to order it, so I haven't read the actual store copy, which is heavily watermarked. I hate reading that stuff, but I do like to know some stuff. It sold, well, on a sales point of view, it sold really well. There is a little bit of speculation buzz because of some of the stuff in it. Obviously, Donny Cates always has a lot of spec buzz around him, but I thought it was okay. I really burned out on Jason Aaron's run of Thor.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is I think that we had such Jason.
It was
Jason
so
Aaron's,
good.
It was so good, and then it gets renumbered. And then it gets renumbered again, and then we go back to Legacy fucking numbering.
So
and then it goes.
It was really good until the end of the
War of Realms.
No, not even that far. What's her name?
Jane Foster.
The Jane Foster Thor run. The problem is the run after that had
abysmal art.
The most incompatible art I've seen in a comic book this past year. War of Realms was not good, and I have not read King Thor. That's how bad those last two volumes hurt my interest in Thor.
We had Thor God of Thunder, Mighty Thor, Mighty Thor Volume 2, Aaron Volume 2.
I don't care what they're called.
Legacy
they were
numbering,
good.
Renumbered just Thor.
Yeah.
And then read War of Realms, and then read King Thor. I checked out. I checked out around the Jane Foster end.
No, it was good. It was good.
I was enjoying it, but I'm I'm just gonna wait. But yeah, I don't know. Interest is.
But yeah, that last run was very poor, and War Realms was terrible. So, this is a fun question that I'm not going to answer, but I will bring it up. This is for you if you want to talk about it, Kevin. Do you guys think they're going to age up Batman and Superman for 5G? Looks like they are.
Oh God!
Bleeding Cool #1 fan Kevin Sharp over here. You want to tell me?
Yes.
You want to tell me all the hot rumors?
Yeah.
So you asked me earlier. I have not looked at Bleeding Cool in 6+ months.
Toby,
at this
mark
point.
these words.
I
has not looked at Bleeding Cool in 6 months.
I'm out. 100. I think I accidentally clicked on a link that someone had sent me, not realizing it went to Bleeding Cool one time. But no, I am done.
No Bleeding Cool at all? But they quote you all the time.
They can quote me all the way. They can quote this. I
would love to see that. I haven't been on Bleeding Cool in 6 months.
The 5G. How? You told me about this article. Again, I haven't seen it.
What is this?
I don't even know if I'd call it an article. It was a collection of all the different 5G rumors.
They are milking this shit.
It was on today.
What's
there was
5G?
DC's 5th generation, that timeline.
The thing that Ryan says never existed. The panel that we went to didn't actually have.
Yeah.
Oh, you were here. You went to the panel with me.
No, I didn't go to the panel, but I was here when I was in New York. I wasn't there.
Well, who went to the panel with me?
Lane? I don't know.
Someone went to the panel. My imaginary friend went to the panel with me. That Ryan said never happened.
That's believable.
DC is going to be cleaning up their timeline a bit.
Yes.
I am not disputing that.
Yes.
DC is going to have some new books. I am not disputing that. This may be called 5G. I'm not disputing that. What I am disputing...
That'd be silly.
What I am disputing... I mean, the internal phrase. Like 52 became... 52 was not supposed to be called 52, right?
Yeah.
What I am disputing is Bleeding Cool's ongoing fucking nonsense of just random this might be happening,
Yeah.
but it might be this,
Oh,
but we
that's
heard
stupid. Yeah, don't
this.
listen to fucking Bleeding Cool, then.
The premise that I'm not going to go into it. Let's go on to the next question, but I'll just answer it with what I read today. The premise that Rich Johnson is talking about is a sudden event where from 1 month to the next month. So forget even the numbering. The issue that comes out in January is normal. The issue that comes out in February, Superman is suddenly 80 years old. And Batman is 80 years old. And Dick Grayson was Robin for 10 years. Tim Drake was Robin for 10 years. Blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. And what is the mysterious event that caused this to happen? And obviously they can't go on being the characters, so there's a new guy coming in to wear the Batman costume, a young guy, a new
That's
guy.
been rumored for like the last 2 years now, right?
Now, and again,
That Lucius Fox is going to be Lucius or his son.
No,
His
yeah,
son's going to
Luke
be
Fox,
Luke
yeah.
Fox is going to
Hey,
be Batman, and
a story where suddenly the Justice League cannot become the Justice League and they are replaced by characters for 6 months is
That happens
totally
all the
fine.
time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The idea that the permanent change of Batman
Yeah,
will
bullshit.
never be Bruce
So-
Wayne again.
bullshit.
Fuck.
So can you
bullshit. I'm
I just
agreeing
wanna-
with the Higgins again.
I
What's going on?
I just want to say, did
I don't
they
like 2020 so
did
far.
Did no one at Bleeding Cool read Doomsday Clock?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
That's read the post.
Yeah.
no, I'm not reading that fucking article.
And it is a direct. It is like this is Generations, right? This
Yes.
is the Bold Burn
Yeah.
Generations book,
And that
right?
was a really
It's good
fun
stuff.
book.
Yeah.
As a miniseries.
Right.
As an
yeah.
Elseworlds.
Yeah. Look, and even if DC wants to do this in every single book for a few months to shake stuff up as a big crossover event for their Crisis, that's fine, right? But this is not the permanent change forever. Stop trying to pretend like it is.
Yeah, Wolverine's coming back in a new #1. He looks so excited.
It's from Peter. Assuming the end is nigh. Okay, the end is nigh.
Okay.
For what?
The Doomsday Clock has hit 12.
Oh.
Right?
For the world?
What dream movie, TV, or miniseries comic book adaptation do you need to see before the big one hits? A good Justice League movie with Green Lanterns in
When
it?
you say the big one, are you saying like a thing from the sky?
Iran is...
The nukes are
That's,
flying.
nukes
or
are
whatever.
flying.
that's actually real, dude.
And I know. That's why he asked it.
Okay.
Snyder's Batman on HBO, a Kid Cable Disney Plus original series just for Bryce and Charlie.
Well, this is not going to be very family friendly, but I'll empty out my bank accounts and then go to Vegas and live life for 24 hours.
He's saying, like, if there's a chance to see your dream comic book movie or TV project before the world ends.
Magically
While you're in Vegas, it magically appears. While you're in Vegas, Toby, it magically appears.
It appears completed.
You go to Vegas to see this movie.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
What would yours be?
New Warriors.
No. No. Come on, it's the same answer as yours. And this is no disrespect meant to CW, but a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie.
That wouldn't be my answer.
Come on, no.
No, Superboy Prime's in that.
The
Fuck that shit.
insanity of a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie.
Can you imagine those
$1 billion budget.
Well, yeah, that's his premise, isn't it? That it's it's like the perfect realization of this.
4-5 hour long movie.
Would you rather
Marvel,
not have,
Marvel versus DC movie?
Yeah.
how about like,
Totally
Yeah.
Marvel versus DC.
how about like a 12-hour Crisis series where each episode is one issue of the...
Yeah.
That'd be good. Toby might actually have my answer. Marvel vs. DC might actually be it.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be a
That's
good
what
one.
cocaine does. You think a good shit.
Four
the
episode
JLA Avengers?
4 episode miniseries. 4 2-hour episode miniseries.
What's yours, Brock?
I mean, I don't know. Crisis is perfectly fine. Like,
Harley Quinn movie.
we've already got that like 4 times.
Secret
He
Wars
wants
2.
one where she gets naked.
2.
Yeah.
That's just cosplay porn.
On that note, we move on. What's the next question?
Which I'll be doing in Vegas with you. So
No, not definitely not with me. Never
YouTube
mind.
cosplay
I
porn
regret.
for the end of the year.
I
end of the
regret
world.
my Vegas thing. I will just fucking
That's how the world
kill
ends.
myself at that point. I will just fucking
He'll drink the Kool-Aid.
Fucking I'm in my happy place to see Brock. I'm gonna just fucking overdose. I'm like, good night, world. It's good
I
seeing
don't
you.
know if this would be my pick for the end of the world, but just as an answer, I need to see that goddamn cocoon from Guardians 2 hatching at some point.
Because you want to see
on
Warlock.
TV,
you need to see Adam
either
Warlock.
big screen, the TV screen, some streaming service. I don't
Yeah.
That fucking
Hey, you know what? You know what's going to happen when that thing opens? It's going to be a baby Yoda.
Baby Warlock.
No,
yeah,
just
be
a
like
baby
an
Yoda.
infant. Yeah, cool.
Okay. We
Okay,
got
go
3
on.
left. From Robert.
With the outfit?
He says, I just did my first receiving for a local comic book shop, meaning like receiving the new product. While the owner...
Wait, his first ever?
Yeah.
So he just opened the shop?
No. The owner's on vacation.
Oh.
So...
Well, congrats anyways on
works there,
receiving
too.
your
Congrats.
first.
It's
still a
it is
congrats.
it is an accomplishment.
And I want to know, how long does it take for you? And also, how in the world do shops without a point-of-sale system catalog and track their sales?
Dude, I have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Because I used to do this. I had a fucking binder where...
This is my first job at a comic store.
where I had a
doing
binder,
this.
and then
Yep.
each page was a title, basically, and I would jot down all the numbers.
Yep.
And I would jot down what goes to subscribers, what went on the shelf, and then every week I would go down the shelf, marking how many issues I had left, and I would adjust my orders accordingly to what's in my binder. If that binder ever disappeared, I would have probably killed some people and be in jail right now. So
Yeah, my very first job when I worked at the store, when I was like 12, 13 years old, the first thing they had me do was the what's it called? What do they call that? It's a that's not a spreadsheet's not the right word. It's a like a sales sheet. It's just like a sales. You go through and you track sales. So it's like, all right,
Yeah.
had 2 copies left of this. Go back and check the next week. I'll have 0. Cool, sold
yeah,
out. Right.
And if you have 5 left, you're like, fucked up on this one,
Yeah,
not
not-
ordering more, and so on.
And
Yeah.
that's how you do your inventory. As far as us, we pick up about 9 in the morning. We're unpacked the boxes and starting the process by about 11. Usually the books are all pulled, bagged and boarded in the in Comic Hub. Everything's been checked in, restocks back on the shelf, and we're ready to file our subscriptions by about 2 to 2:30 usually.
Yeah, you're 2 o'clock. You're normally.
Yeah, normally. A big week will go longer, but let's say an average week this week we're done by about 1:30. So 2:30 kind of at the latest. Filing the subscriptions could take an hour or 2 depending on how many there are. If it's 7 boxes like the other week, it was all night. And then it's a short break. Take the books off the new release wall, prep for the wall. I mean, Tuesday for me is 9 to 6:37. It's solid straight.
It's solid straight. Yeah.
It's 10 straight hours of work.
I used to do what you guys did, but I would get the books, I want to say, in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it's
You
basically
guys worked all night.
Yeah, it will all shift. I go home like at 1 in the morning
Yeah,
or 12
yeah.
at night. Yeah. I mean, it didn't help that I also picked out my perfect books at the same time. But
we need to just videotape you doing that on the wall, and then they'll understand.
no, that's true. But it took a while. I mean, yeah, it was literally the same thing. I unpack and
Yeah.
sort and put it. So basically, what's different between you guys and what I did, I had this big wall in the back where I could put all the books on, sort of like how they are out here for you guys in the public. But I put them all out. And literally, I put them all out first, and from there, I pulled the subscribers.
I know some stores that do that. Yeah.
And that's also when I marked down all the issues.
Yeah.
Because we had the old school binder system going on, and basically, once the store is closed, is when I start moving all the stuff out.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I moved the old stuff off.
And then when you're at the mall store, they're open to like 10 o'clock at night or something like that, right?
Well,
So-
we close at 9.
Oh, 9,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I start in the afternoon. We close at 9 is where I start putting the stuff out. And
Yeah, because you
usually-
and Charlie would be there till like midnight. Yeah, 1 o'clock.
midnight 1 usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the toys come out too, and yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I know stores that do it like it's an all day process, and they even do it into like to 10 o'clock at night, and they close the store at like.
I mean, I know
7,
stores
like-
that are just straight up closed on Tuesdays to process new books. We don't have to do that. We could do it while people are here. So, question from Jesse says,
Well,
"You guys,
I'm curious. How long did it take him?
I don't know. You
Well,
say?
reply to that guy.
Oh, and for stores with a point of sale system, yeah, geez. I mean, they don't. They either do it, they do it Toby's way, or they just don't care, right? They just order
They
whatever.
just put it out on a table. And
Lord
walk
have
away.
mercy on you if you don't care.
Before
How
we
do
had
you
a
stay
point
in
of sale
business?
system, I would do the wall, right? So like Doug or Ken would yell out, "How many copies of Doctor Doom do we
Oh
have
God,
left?"
I remember those days.
I mean, that's the same thing. I
4.
mean, literally, I would just go with a
Yeah.
binder going
Yeah,
each
yeah,
book, and I
yeah.
would go back, how many.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Yeah. We used to do it for FFC.
No.
Before the hub. Let's see from Jesse. He says, do you guys ever get bothered by out-of-sync comic book timelines? For example, Alfred being dead in one book but alive in another. or how a disaster is happening in Justice League, but at the same time the heroes are doing stuff in their own books. Yeah, you can't.
To me, it's like watching one episode of this with an episode that could be at a different time. That never bothered me.
I always tell people, you can figure out the timeline after it's happened.
Yeah.
You can't figure it out while you're in the middle of it. Because there's 18 Batman books. They're all doing different things. You can't make these things line up. Batman's been through 80 or 90 Christmases. But he's only been Batman for like 10 years. Like, you just can't. You can't
try to make sense of the Simpsons family at that point. Then
sure. You can't. I like how Apu's kids are like older than Lisa, or older than Maggie, even though they were born like 12 seasons into the show or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't.
Wait, they grew?
They're like the same age as Maggie, but they were like born.
Yeah, wait, I didn't realize that happened.
Yeah. He's like 12 kids or something like that.
Did you actually finish The Simpsons? Is this still on? It's over finally, right?
No, they just had for like 3 more seasons.
What?
Yeah, this last season of The Simpsons, like they got some new writers. It's been pretty funny.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of that old heat back.
What season is it? Is it like
30, 31?
Holy shit!
Is that right? 30?
I tapped out after about 15, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've watched every single episode.
Wow.
A lot of them, multiple times.
You have a thing with like stuff that runs a really long time.
Yeah.
You have a if it's like historically gets to like
I'm surprised I haven't watched
700 episodes. You watch them all for some reason.
I'm surprised I haven't watched someone on CW that just ended.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
Charlie watched.
Yeah, that's something right up your alley. Both in quality and in length.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done Stargate.
Yeah, I think you're going to start Supernatural real soon. That's something that's right up your alley.
You know what I'm starting after. Well, I'm taking a little break so I can finish off Lost Girl because I never saw the final season of that. But you ever watched Lost Girl?
No.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm starting after that?
What?
Gundam in chronological order.
Yeah, that is exactly what you would do.
Yep.
It does not surprise me at all.
Yep. I've seen
Wait, are you going to do all the offshoots too?
chronological order.
What in what way? In the way they were released,
Chronological order.
or in the way the stories are happening?
No, I have the UC stuff set aside, kind of separate. That's like the main kind of timeline. But that's the OG timeline.
Isn't Wing a different timeline,
Yep.
and so is Seed and all that stuff is all different, right?
Yep.
But there's an actual timeline of the actual Gundam
There's like
show,
14
right?
timelines, or like 7 timelines.
I would not be surprised if you watch all the Ultraman from Japan one day.
The main
from beginning,
is,
from the 70s, 60s.
The main series is what is it? Universal Century UC. That's like, if I'm remembering this correctly, that is like the main timeline. Right. All the others are like spin-off reboots.
No,
blah, blah,
we
blah,
didn't
whatever.
get it either, Siri.
Yeah. What Siri say?
Siri is listening to you for some reason.
She likes Gundam too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wing and Seed and the
I think it was the UC
super deformed spin-off shows.
Oh,
and
the super deforms, man.
Yeah.
Those are best.
So yes, talk about long running.
We just got real nerdy here. We got Kevin and Brock like turning out on this way.
I have watched Gundam. I've just haven't watched all of it.
Yeah.
Like his
It's
project.
a lot. It's right up his alley.
We'll
see.
see.
I'll recommend really good shows, and you're like, no, man, I gotta watch all of Gundam first. I'm sorry. I gotta watch all. I have to watch.
While we're talking about shows, I will, in a rare case of me eating shit for Brock. We'll be watching Schitt's Creek, which is really funny.
Fucking great.
Schitt's Creek is really funny.
This is a weird new year. What's going on?
Did you watch Schitt's Creek?
No.
Dude.
Eugene Levy, it's very funny.
Rolling shit.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. Yeah. Chris Elliott. Yeah, it's... Yeah.
Love Chris Elliott. I love Chris. I will watch any Chris Elliott project.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I
Schitt's
love
Creek.
Chris Elliott.
Schitt's Creek is very funny.
The last final season started tonight.
For Schitt's Creek?
Yeah. Schitt's Creek's final season starts
I knew it was,
tonight.
yeah.
It's up in Canada.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Dude, Schitt's Creek, man.
A rare good suggestion from Brock on a comedy.
We
do not have
through the looking glass on this show.
This is a weird,
do not
weird
have
beginning.
similar taste.
Bizarro.
This is like a
2020
weird
is turning out to
reboot.
be a weird year.
When he mentioned this, I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm watching the show. I'm just not even going to listen to you. Just, no.
Usually a good strategy. So this time.
Leanne watched it in the background because she watches all the shows the show while she's working, and she was like, I think you would like this. You should watch this with me. And people were like, we're in season 2, and like, yeah, it's really funny.
It's really
I like David. I like the son a lot.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's really
good.
great. Yeah.
He's the creator of the show. So
yeah, it's Eugene Levy's kid, right?
Yeah.
Final question is from Ulysses. What DC comics are you guys looking forward to in 2020? And did you guys see the set photos for Batman? It's my most anticipated movie of 2021.
Did not see them.
I do. Someone sent me them, and I'm like, no spoilers, please.
No.
I don't want to see this stuff. Just don't. Please don't send this to me. Thank you, but don't send it to me.
I don't care about set photos. I hate set photos.
Yeah,
I mean, even the Joker, like on the subway, I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't need to see this.
It's okay. It's like, well, okay,
Yeah.
but this does nothing for me.
I'm
That's not what
give
the
me,
movie
give me
is,
a
right?
trailer. I'm good to go. Right? Like,
Yeah. After watching Joker, the shot of they filmed that staircase scene like from the apartment complex above them, like that was actually kind of cool to watch.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see the stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
So,
But
obviously, we're all looking forward
I
to it.
still stand by Wolverine, first X-Men movie, the one that got released before the movie came out.
leaked,
I
yeah,
still love that version better than the actual version. Now, hey, I'm putting it out there. I went there first day to watch it and gave him my money, and I bought that movie later. So I want to just put it out there. I didn't leave it at the illegal borrowing from the internet, but I actually still, because that music from the Transformers in there, it was I believe a little bit of a nicer cut.
Yeah. But I
With the
assume,
temp music.
I assume Batman 2021 will all be our five, all five for
I
all
don't
of
know,
us.
man.
See-
Unless something else
I don't
comes
know.
along. That's,
see
I
what
actually
they do
do
with
not
it.
know about
Yeah,
that.
it's gonna be wild.
I do not know if that's an automatic 5. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. But DC Comics for 2020, Strange Adventure,
Yeah,
obviously,
Strange Adventure's top
at
of the
this
list.
point.
Five.
Batman, Catwoman.
Yep, Batcat, when that
Batcat's
comes out,
right up there.
easy.
3 Jokers.
When it's announced, I'll be excited for it.
3 Jokers.
Crisis
the Bleeding
2020.
Cool article did reference the rewrites on the 3 Jokers because of the movie.
Why, was
Okay.
one Joker too close to one of the Jokers?
I don't know.
Okay. 3 Jokers is on that list.
I'm very curious about that one.
JSA, whoever's going to be doing JSA.
Is that going to be happening?
Snyder says he wants to do it, right? I mean, he said this publicly, so...
Yeah, but I want to do it doesn't mean it's happening.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Crisis 2020 / Metal 2 / whatever that is.
5G.
Again, it's happening, right?
Yeah.
It's just not.
Can I ask a dangerous question?
Yeah,
I love Scott,
yeah.
and he's pumping a lot of good stories out. Is he ever gonna run out?
I mean, that's
Because it seems
Any
to
writer, right?
Jeff
It's-
Johns too, right? I mean, love Jeff Johns.
yeah.
Is there a timeline on some of these writers?
All of it, yeah. Clearly, I mean, every writer you liked from the 60s and 70s sucked in the 90s. Every look, all our favorite comic artists from the 70s suck now, right? I mean, all the writers don't write well anymore. Eventually, it stops.
I mean,
yes.
look at Bendis. I think Bendis is probably the best modern example. When he was at Marvel, his early stuff at Marvel's fantastic, but towards the end, his Marvel stuff
just
just
burned
started
out.
just tanking, and then he came over to DC and got kind of revitalized with the material. So it's one of those things where Snyder could just burn out at DC and then go to
Well,
Marvel.
I think that's what Undiscovered Country is, right? That's his break.
baby,
Yeah.
Maybe Snyder steps away from comics and writes a movie or a novel.
finishes
and
American Vampire.
Yeah.
loops back around.
I just don't want them to ever run out. I love the work.
There's a 2020 DC comic Ryan Higgins is looking forward to, and it's a Shazam issue.
With Superboy Prime.
Yes.
No, burn it.
What
Every
were
copy.
you were gonna say something earlier? Was that it? Was that it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's what you were gonna say.
That's a 2020 comic.
No.
you're looking forward to.
No, you said earlier you were gonna. I don't remember. You were gonna say something, but Superboy Prime, baby, back.
What was his last appearance?
Final Crisis.
I don't know.
Oh, he wasn't in.
No,
Final
he
Crisis.
was in
Oh.
Teen-
He was in Legion of.
He was in
No,
Teen Titans.
was he in Legion of
I
Three
was making
Worlds?
shit up.
No, he's
Oh
in,
yeah. Oh, it's all over Legion of 3.
Yeah. He's the villain.
But he was
So-
in Teen Titans before New 52.
Yes.
But how about since?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, he came back.
No, he was briefly in it again in 52 towards the end, but I don't remember what title.
Was he in 52?
It was something.
Because he was in so post. He was in Adventure Comics,
Adventure Comics,
right?
and
The
then,
Legion.
but that led into Legion,
John's-
but that didn't involve him.
No, but he was in it.
He was in Adventure at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
that transitioned
Yeah.
into a Legion book.
Yeah.
Okay, can you once again explain Superboy Prime to me? He
Yeah.
is the Clark Kent that's young Superboy?
He is Clark
a
Kent from Earth. Earth. Our Earth.
The plane you live on
Yeah.
of existence.
This was an issue of DC Comics Presents, where this Clark Kent gets superpowers. The Clark Kent from our Earth.
So he's never from okay.
And he is, right? I mean, he is from Krypton. He's just from our Earth.
Yeah.
And
The fuck did you just say?
he
Yeah,
is
it doesn't
So
make
he
sense.
Kryptonian?
Earth Prime
Yeah.
is this world that we are
it's
now
where
on.
they publish DC comic books.
Oh, so he's self-aware?
Yes.
So he's
Yeah.
like a Deadpool?
Kinda.
So wait,
He doesn't talk to the audience, though. He sees his own adventures as comic books.
Yeah. So like he's so when Crisis happens, they're like, holy shit, this kid is like the most powerful one of all of us, and he's from this weird other planet with no superheroes, and they come here to get him.
Okay, so when I was younger and read all the Superboy stories, not the Jeff Johns one,
Yeah.
is that Superboy?
No. Superboy.
The Superboy that
Superboy
ended up
is-
with
is
like the
re-
Legion of
is
Superheroes.
regular.
Yeah,
It's
that is-
regular Superman.
Superman is a kid in
Yeah.
Smallville.
That's a normal Superboy.
That's Earth.
So this how
One.
I want to say I used to read stories with Superman and Superboy where Superboy looked like young Clark Kent Superboy.
They had
less.
Yeah, they've had those.
Yeah.
Like a time travel team
Yeah.
up and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh, so
Yeah.
he's teaming up with himself?
yeah.
That's how Donna Troy got created. Do
Okay.
you know the story of Donna Troy?
She's made out of clay.
Well, it was.
Do you know that? I don't even know the story of Donna Troy anymore.
Yeah. Well,
She used to be
The
Wonder
re-
Woman as a
the
teenager.
real world story of how Donna Troy was created was yes, she was a young Diana Prince. She was a young Wonder Woman, right? Like Superboy, right?
Okay.
And it was what's his face from Brave and the Bold, Bob Haney, right?
Yeah.
Who said, "Cool, I need a teenage character, so I'm going to take Robin, Flash, Aqualad. Let's take young Wonder Woman and Let's take Wonder Girl, and we'll take who else was on
in that original team.
Well, the original team was
Speedy also.
the original team was Robin, Speedy, and Aqualad.
Kid Flash.
Yeah, Kid Flash.
Yeah.
And then they bring in and then they bring in Speedy
Yeah.
and Wonder Girl.
Yeah.
Not realizing that teenage Wonder Girl
Yeah.
is Wonder Woman.
So he's got her teamed up with Robin and Kid Flash.
So it's a retcon.
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
Okay.
And so they're
but
like,
that they retcon later.
and then they were like, no, that's actually Donna Troy, this new character we created that's Wonder Woman's sidekick that she saved from a burning building. Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The problem with Superboy Prime,
But
besides
hold on.
I think the
So
bad
that
thing is calling
Superboy
Donna
Prime
Troy a
I used to
mistake.
read as a kid is not Superboy Prime.
right,
No.
it's just Superboy,
just Superboy.
young
Okay.
Superman.
Okay.
Superboy Prime is
And that's
is,
the Superboy before Clone Superboy.
Yes,
Who Letter Jacket Clone Superboy is actually the same as Jeff Johns Superboy
Yes.
that he just kind of reinvented,
Yeah.
right?
yes.
Yeah.
That later became T-shirt, black T-shirt
Yes.
Superboy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now we also have the Sun Superboy.
Yes.
But
And Superboy Prime.
Connor
and
is still around.
And Connor is back. Yes.
Okay.
And we now have, thanks to Doomsday Clock, the return of Superman as Superboy.
Right.
So if we were to involve time travel in all of this, because we do really well with this
could
on
have-
this podcast, we could have
right.
young
Yeah.
Clark Kent back as Superboy
He is.
he is.
in normal red trunks and all.
He is.
He's just
From-
skinny
As
looking.
of
Yes.
Doomsday Clock 12, young Clark Kent as Superboy is back in continuity.
All right, so
he
we
was
got-
gone.
So we got young Clark Kent Superboy. There's a Superboy Prime that's like Deadpool. There's Connor Superboy and Sun Superman.
Yep.
Sun
And you can
Superboy.
also have New 52 white t-shirt wearing young Superman, the Morrison one, because that's now a separate universe as of Doomsday
Yeah.
Clock 12.
Right.
So,
And Superboy Prime, the thing that just drives me crazy, besides the personality that you love,
another case of me loving an asshole, Toby.
Tantrum.
is the original premise of this character was he's the Earth 1 Superman.
Right.
Power level. But they have made him way more powerful
Yeah,
than the
yeah,
Earth
yeah,
1
yeah.
Superman ever was.
Are you talking about the Morrison one now?
No, I'm talking about Superboy Prime.
Oh.
They've got him like killing 100 Green Lanterns
Yeah.
and the whatever, and like
He's ridiculously
So
powerful.
Superboy of Earth 1, where did that start?
in
Wait.
the
The
50s.
50s.
Did that start in the 50s?
Yeah. The premise was he had been doing these super things before he went to Metropolis and became Superman.
And this is when they introduced Luthor. Like, him and Luthor were like rivals when they were kids. Yeah. Luthor comes from Smallville. He made him lose his hair. Like, all that comes from Superboy.
Which was in the Superboy TV show.
Yeah.
Because Luthor is mad at Superboy for losing his hair out of all things.
Yeah, that's from that. So,
that's from the original. Okay,
yes.
Okay. Cool.
So John Byrne, when he took over Superman in the 80s, got rid of Superboy and made it so that he became Superman as an adult and was never Superboy.
Yep.
Then they ran into then who inspired the Legion of Superheroes if there was no Superboy?
So they made
the Pocket Universe.
Another universe Superboy.
Fuck it, not complicated at all.
Right.
Yeah.
It's because Byrne got rid of Superboy without... And nobody said, whoa, wait, what about the Legion?
The Man of Steel miniseries, basically.
Yeah,
okay.
So he becomes him as an adult.
Yeah.
So
the Legion Superboy is definitely young Clark Kent going on adventures with the Legion.
Yes.
Okay.
I just view Superboy Prime as the Superboy that has tantrums.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it's another case of me loving a real big asshole. Toby.
He's doing really good with that, too.
We actually talked about
jerk,
this.
And I
we
love
talked
him.
about this yesterday because you tweeted this over the weekend and added me, and I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, I love it.
But he likes Jason Todd.
Yep, love him.
He loves Damien.
Oh, loved it.
Right? He loves
Such a
Superboy
dickhead.
Prime.
Yeah.
Like,
they just need to all come in here to shop at the same time.
He would hate them if they were
in real
he's gonna
life.
shoot him himself.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked
Those
about
three
this.
guys came in here to shop, he'd be running out the door.
Oh, no, he would shoot himself right here.
he would
at
call the
chair.
police. He'd be
Superboy
like,
Prime is like an internet troll. Like, he is the worst person, but I love him.
well, the thing
So
is
good.
that's where
Do
John's...
not understand the Higgins.
That's where John's left him.
One day we got to go in his brain, dude. He's
That's where
fucking weird.
That's where John's left the character in the adventure comic stuff.
Right.
Is he's sitting there screaming at
the DC forums.
at the DC forums
Yeah.
on his computer.
Yeah.
And then he comes back in those Titans issues.
Yeah, that was right pre New 52.
And then
I don't.
he came back in something I can't remember what it was. It was at the end of New 52, but I don't remember what it was. Because I think you got all excited. I'm like, well, I don't read that book anyway, so I'm okay.
Feel about self-aware characters.
So self-aware characters like Deadpool are entertaining. Like Harley, it's entertaining.
Well,
Superboy
She-Hulk
Prime
used to
is-
do it. I kind of chuckled at it, but I never took it serious.
It's a little more than self-aware. Spoilers for Final Crisis Legion of Three Worlds.
Yeah, it was good.
I know, but I'm just going to spoil one part, so if you haven't read it, skip forward 1 minute.
But isn't Gwenpool like self-aware too?
Yes.
Isn't
But
she
she's-
basically a Superboy Prime?
But this is not, he's not aware of an audience.
Reading it?
At the end of Legion of Three Worlds,
Yeah.
without going into the whole story, at the end, after he has been defeated,
Yeah.
he is looking at the issues of Final Crisis where he was defeated. So he's reading the story that we've just read, including him.
Huh.
Because on his world,
Yeah.
that's a comic book.
Yeah.
Some weird head-spinning, fucking weird
Yeah.
mumbo-jumbo, timey-wimey.
I hate the character.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's why he comes back. That's right. No, he hasn't been back since the Titans issue. Because what did they do with him in the Titans issue? They imprisoned him in the Source Wall, which has now been destroyed. So that's how he comes back. Yep. Yeah, no, he has not been back since. He was not back in New 52.
See, the sad thing is I know this about this character, and I hate this fucking character.
Ah, God, so happy. Anyway,
So in 6 months?
Okay, so it's coming back. It's so... Screw you, Ken, for bringing it up, but he's coming back in a Shazam comic.
SBP 2020.
He's coming... He's coming...
Does he have your vote
Oh, yeah.
for president?
Oh, absolutely. Dude, destroy
worst.
everyone. Vote
The
Superboy
worst.
Prime,
The
okay?
Okay.
Rip the arms off of
The
your enemies and
worst.
beat them with it.
Superboy Prime
Super
would be
Prime.
a Trump fan.
Yes, that's the problem. Yes.
Come on.
He would.
Oh,
Come
Yes.
on.
You just
Oh,
silenced- you
Superboy
just silenced
Prime
the
would
Higgins.
love the Trump.
You just silenced the
He'd
Higgins.
be on that Trump
His brain is
bandwagon.
wrestling with
Yeah.
itself right now.
Yeah.
He'd be taking pictures with Donald J.
They have
Jr.
the same personality. One just has powers.
I like this.
Thank you for ruining it for him. Anyway.
No. He would be so
Denial.
apolitical.
Fucking
I mean,
denial.
he would not. Dude.
I'm not talking about his politics. I'm talking about he would be a fan of that personality. That's him.
I don't know. I don't think so.
God, you're in such
Hello.
big denial. You're in such big denial. Anyway. But I just hope Black Adam beats the living shit out of him in the Shazam comic.
No, Black Adam will get his head torn off. Superboy Prime is more powerful than anything.
Nothing is more powerful than The Rock. The Rock will beat anybody. Doesn't matter which reality it is.
No, there's a short list for 2021 movies. Black Adam, it's happening. We'll see.
Is it happening?
Yeah.
Isn't it happening?
He's shooting at summer, I believe.
Sure.
He's training for it now.
When are we getting Shazam?
He's all these workout videos,
right?
That'd be amazing if they both came out the same year. That'd be so good. Yeah. He did his training. His training
He's
videos.
training. He announced
I've got
when he's
it.
shooting.
You release them on the same day, and they're the same story, just from the different points of view.
That'd be fucking awesome. I mean, I don't think it would work, but that'd be amazing. All right, we are going way over.
Yeah, this is a long one for a no news week.
Yeah, we are.
We do that a
done
lot
here. Before we wrap up, I have to thank our wonderful Patreon backers. You've backed us through all of 20, hopefully, maybe through all of 2019. Now we're into 2020. Thank you all for your continued support at patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy.
Shooting starts summer.
Yep, our $5
From the Instagram.
I know.
The Rock.
It's gonna be good.
If The Rock wants it done, it gets done.
Yeah. Once he actually starts a project, it happens. It's just getting there takes a long time. For all our wonderful $5 a month backers, that is Dennis Jensen, Alex McHale, David Baroli, Don Kilson, Mark Long, Stephen Sepia, Ivan Leskanik, Brian Morawski, Miles Gakula, Zach Johnson, Bryce Larson quotes. Thank you for quoting that episode.
So Toby, have you figured out who it is yet?
No, I don't want to know anymore. I have a new goal in life.
Paula Schultz.
What's the new goal?
Oh, I'm going to get him a voice modulator onto the podcast somehow. I have made contact.
Whoa,
I have made contact. I just do not want to know who he is. And
Or
Deep Throat.
Nothing.
Joseph Rodriguez.
Voice modulator.
Jack Ildefonso, Christopher Noyes, David Safar, Verum Libertas, Brian Wyckoff, Joe Cachadorian, PJ Ryder, Josh Elliott, Joe Frazier, Tyler Willits, Tim Martin, Ames Foster, Mason Barber, Anirban Banerjee, Litwin Studios, thank you guys, Robert Lane, Andrew Nikovich, Brendan McGowan, Tim from Virginia Beach, thank you, Tim, Chris Lockhart, Aaron Wright, Father Dante, Chris Heath, Chris Palaki, this man, this Pete. Thank you, Pete. Just another Chris. There are a lot of Chris's on here. Wally Ansari, List of the Living Dead, Chris Bunch, Malvi, Edgar Moreno, and Andrew Kucheri. Thank you guys all for your continued support on Patreon.
Appreciated.
Yes, that's patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy.
Thank you to all the Chris's and everybody else.
Kick these guys a couple bucks every month for all my guys here that help me with this stupid podcast. Thanks, as always, to our top tier backers. That is Joe Duff, Andrew Nelson Mendez. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied there. At Recovery of an Anime Junkie Podcast. Go check out their podcast on Apple Podcast. Craig Anderson, who's over at craigpanderson.com. If you need
advice,
yes, for your work, for your career, if you want to become a better employee, if you want to learn,
if you want to become a better human person.
Everything.
I'm just wondering why.
Go talk to
why
Indicator.
Ryan hasn't sent us to Craig.
Everything. Craig.
We're unhelpful. What was it called? We're
not helpful.
No, we're what's it called? Giving up on.
He's giving up on us.
No, we're what's it called? The lost souls. What's the word?
Lost boys.
God damn it! No, what's the word? We're possible. Well, hold on.
I want your list. Keep going.
What are we?
What are you trying to say?
We're
untrainable.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's lost. We're like lost causes. We're lost causes. We're lost causes.
Wow.
What did you go through to get to that? Unpossible, untrainable, deplorable.
Untrainable came from him.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Deplorable. I like that one.
We're lost causes.
You know what? Superboy Prime would like that too.
Jimmy Rivera at the social forum, FOURUM.buzzsprout.com, and James Laws. Thank you guys for your continued support on Patreon, as always. And if you'd like to join those top-level backers, you could do that. We'll do a little promo or kick a shout-out for you once a month. Or, sorry, once a week.
Hey, since you bought yourself that nice Crisis box set.
Yeah.
So I got the deluxe editions from Crisis onwards and all the stuff after. Now the Crisis on a multiple Earths, not infinite Earths. I want deluxe size books of that. Can you make that happen? Can you call your buddies at DC and go?
I would think it's likely.
Yeah,
because they did their Crisis Companion ones.
Yeah,
so.
Like I have all the companions and I have the Crisis in that size now. They're all like all nicely going with. Now I just need the Earth ones. I figured I'd be 2 or 3. Okay,
3. Yeah. Our final
countdown.
So,
no, I had something. A quick question I remembered when we were talking about are they going to do this? Did you get any more information on those fancy dust jackets to fix those DC publishing problems?
No, they're not going to do that. No. ComicConspiracyPodcast.com.
It's called third party.
Yes,
I know.
There are lots of people to do it.
That's why I'm saying
third party suppliers.
Geekbox.net and Apple Podcasts. Please go follow us on there and
Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Listen to all these previous episodes if you would like.
And tell us where we can eat it.
YouTube.com/comicsconspiracy is where you can find YouTube versions of all these podcasts, audio only. But if you like YouTube, you can go there. The Comic Conspiracy at Geekbox.net. Those long-form questions, you can send us there. We'll read those occasionally. And comicsconspiracy.biz. That is our physical storefront online. You can purchase comic books from us every every Tuesday night. All the stuff for Wednesdays up there, so feel free to pick up some comics.
And
we ship everything.
Most of our inventory is up there.
Yeah. All like the new stuff.
Yeah.
If you would like to hear more of us, go to conspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's blog, video pull list and unboxing videos. He's on there doing his thing. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast, new Doctor Who on the last couple of weeks. So Charlie's back on there. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. And LeanneHill.com. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. That's her website, but you can get to her Etsy store from there, which is also etsy.com/shop/LeanneHillArt. And finally, if you're on Twitter, follow us all, please. Ryan Higgins, Brock Sager. That's Brock. Toby is Toby XI. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. The store is Comics Con Store. Please give us a follow. And if you like this podcast, I'm on Geekbox every week. We talked about our favorite Nintendo games coming up this year. Hopefully it's a weird year for Nintendo.
Can you explain the PS5 to me?
PS5?
Yeah. What's going on? Why is everybody pissed off?
It's PlayStation 5.
Yeah, but why is everybody pissed off?
I have no idea. Why are they pissed off?
I don't know. It seems like you're a Twitter person. You tell me. I don't understand this shit. It just seems like the overall consensus of people is they're pissed off.
Well, that's just Twitter.
Is it because they thought they were going to get the announcement and didn't get it? Is that all it is?
They had a logo. That's all you're getting.
Well, the logo is what everybody expected it to be.
I think people are just angry at the PlayStation 5's new logo. I'm like, it just looks like the old logo with a 5.
But it looked like the third and fourth. And
it's not a new logo. It's the same
logo. They're very good about
with
picking their new name,
5,
too.
Yeah. If people are mad, I have no idea why. So
Is it going to be backwards compatible? Can you tell me? Do you have some inside source?
The rumor is it's backwards compatible with 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Fuck yes! I might have to buy this motherfucker.
We'll see.
If it is, then I have one on me.
That's a big rumor.
And Blu-ray HD, not HD Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray?
Yep.
Fuck. Might have to actually upgrade my PlayStation 3.
We'll see.
And you'll have to upgrade your TV.
No, my TV is good.
Thank you. You can hear us talking about this more on Geekbox. And also Manga Machinations. If you want to hear some of our friends over there, they talk about manga and anime.
Give Comedy Button a shout-out, too, while you're at it.
Bryce won't let me. I'm sorry.
Actually, you going by it?
I mean, we had someone on the forum that was like, "Oh,
that's why."
Yeah. I mean, Comedy Button's great. It's got some friends that work on that too, so you can go listen to that if you want, but not an official plug, of course, because I don't want Bryce to be mad at me.
They don't plug us, man.
Bryce doesn't listen to this podcast.
I'm just saying,
you plug us, we plug you.
It's Bryce's podcast
going
now.
Dirty comic.
It's whatever Bryce says goes. So. Thank you all.
Bryce is always right
for this.
Did you see the T-shirt?
40-minute outro. We're going to go now. Goodbye.